in the green. Bingo.
Happy New Year!
Hey.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Congratulations.
Happy Hanukkah.
Congratulations.
After
Santa
the
Claus
last
did
session,
9/11.
after the last session, as I progressively tick more time off the timer that's coming up, the party, when we left you last, had come to a bit of an impasse by which two people had sort of got yeeted out into space. But we continued a bit off screen to give some suspense for this session, and I think that worked quite nicely. So, the squad's commander has returned to the ship and is currently in the airlock, about to, be on the ship again. This is the... What was the name of the ship again, please, Bill?
It is currently... Yeah, the Prospero.
The NHS Prospero.
Unless you prefer the STS Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar does sound pretty good, but I think we'll have to go with the Prospero at this point.
Yeah, just
so
something easy to say.
NHS Prospero. It is a ship, some 40-ish souls, and/or as many bodies. I'm not too certain. The numbers are approximate. The crew can grow and lessen with supply ships coming in, taking people on leave and what have you. But yeah, the main gist of it is the ship where our primary protagonists occupy most of their time. It is currently the Night Watch. Some of the watch team have been deployed to go and investigate this ship that has come into their contact. One person has so far returned. Two of the parts of the crew are asleep. Two of them are on duty. Two of them are on their downtime. So yes, I'm going to begin
Timer.
now.
Okay. So I arrive on the ship.
Yes.
Okay, I still have my hazmat suit on, if I remember right.
Yep.
Okay, I contact the bridge.
Okay. You press the intercom.
Hello. Maybe a small problem.
Status report, Ensign.
One alive, two infected.
Repeat. Infected, question.
They went mad. One assaulted me. I had to defend myself, and I'm the only one back.
Understood. Stay where you are.
Also contaminated with alien fluids. Have hazmat suit on. Send decontamination.
Okay. Let me just get on the intercom. You hear the intercom click off. After a few minutes, you hear the intercom click back on. Yes, please remove your void suit and await in the center of the room for inspection by the medical team.
I remove the void suit and the hazmat suit, put them in the corner of the room, and I stand there.
Alright, I need to look at the correct screen, the one I can actually edit things on.
Revealing
The map's too big.
Revealing a glorious twirled mustache.
Am I on the medical team? Go check this
Yes,
out?
you are on the medical team. However, you are off shift, so your joining them is purely optional.
Well, since I hear that,
You would have heard it over the intercom within the ship. The intercoms do not generally extend as far as the airlocks.
in that case, I'll just pick up some medical equipment and go,
Okay.
well,
You can join them in the airlock corridor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do the my normal trick of drawing pretty lines on doors that are currently open. The door is opened. The squad commander points a rifle at you and says for you to stay where you are.
I put my hands
nicely far apart.
Put my hands straight up. and with my foot I shove my gun towards them.
Yeah, one of the assisting officers takes your equipment and leaves
No
it tidy
worry,
in the corner.
I know the procedure.
One of the reporting medic runs a medical scanner over you, at which point he looks tired and calls in over his intercom back to the bridge. You hear him say quite clearly, "False alarm."
Well then.
At which point you are remanded to they take your remaining equipment and they inform you that you have been summoned to the bridge.
Okay.
Guardsmen go back to the canteen.
Can I at least
There
have
they
some
are.
pants? Can I at least have some pants?
You are wearing fatigues underneath the void suit.
Okay, good. Well then.
Well, damn. What's going on with you?
The thing is, some stuff went down, and we might be 2 men down. I don't know their fate.
Well, seems they want you on the bridge, so you better
Yes.
get there.
I'm heading towards the bridge. Well then. Seeing, I guess this is the bridge, or...
Yes.
Well then.
The lieutenant greets you and immediately says, "Status report. We deployed 3 of you approximately 2 hours ago."
Yes. We found aliens. Once again. We found what seems to be breeding chambers. We also found hazmat suits. We put them on just in case. 2 of those hazmat suits got pierced of my 2 companions. And let's just say things started to go downhill from there.
This alien fluid you mentioned.
Yes.
What color was it? And what consistency?
If I remember right, it was purple. But the consistency I didn't have. But was it liquid or more
Viscous.
more viscous liquid?
It was a thick purple liquid.
But I can only ascribe it as thick.
Well, the medical scan does indeed corroborate that story at least. What you had found was cryofluid.
Oh, really?
Material designed to protect samples or patients or any other personnel from the hard vacuum and give them some time to protect them in case of cryofailure during cryosleep. How had this liquid become loosed, shall we say?
Let's just say we found the aliens that we found on the previous ship. We basically thought no more. We burst open all the pods with fire and with gunfire.
So you destroyed how many cryochambers?
If I remember right, it was 8, killing all the aliens inside.
And you were certain they were alive before
They
you
were-
killed them?
They were twitching. And
Did you have a medical member of staff with you?
I did not. We did not have the medical member of staff with
Did
us.
you examine the life sign readouts upon the cryo chambers? Did you consult any of the ship's logs, crewmen? Any notes that may have been written down?
Well then, because the rest of the party did. They did not brief me on that one. We were kinda busy dealing with failing energy and the fact that the oxygen was getting less, and the fact that every fucking door needed to be broken open.
You mentioned the oxygen. You are aware that the void suits you're equipped with contain an oxygen supply sufficient for any mission length.
But the oxygen was getting filled with gas. Flammable gas.
Within your suits?
Well, it was corrosive. Was it flame? It was corrosive gas, if I remember right. Yes.
Well, I fear you may have acted somewhat rashly, but that will be for the captains to decide when they come on shift. I'll request that you return to your quarters and await such time as the captain can analyze the recordings we have taken while you were on mission.
Well then.
The recordings were infected by the synths.
Where are my quarters again?
They are in the barrack next to you. The one with all the people who don't look like everyone else.
Oof.
Huh?
What? Oh, it's you.
Yeah,
I was having a great dream about a charcoal cooked burger on a barbecue pit. Been so long, so very long. So I had a good burger.
So,
How about I tie the long hair on your head to the long hair of your ass and kick you down the dang street?
Fuck
Might
you!
sound-
Charcoal tastes better.
Might
Taste
sound,
the meat, not the heat.
might sound preferable.
so, officer, how did your little meeting with the big boys go?
Well,
Where'd everybody else?
not completely disastrous. Turns out the fluids that I thought were alien fluids were apparently cryo fluid. How the fuck would I know?
Wait a minute.
It was purple and it had the fucking aliens in it.
Wait one moment. I'm not too good with math, but weren't there 4 other people with you?
Two others.
Damn it. Right.
Well, it seems they might be dead.
I have kind of
sucks.
the idea. I have kind of the idea that they are still alive, knowing their stubbornness.
That sucks. One of them owed me $20.
Well, you
Credit.
might still get that $20.
Hey.
So you encountered aliens on that trip?
We encountered aliens in apparently the cryopods.
What are the
Wow,
aliens
the heck?
look like?
Damn illegals.
Well, they were the same aliens as last time. You know, those annoying ones.
He wasn't there too.
I haven't been briefed on the aliens.
Oh wait. Well, have you ever seen insects the size of your body?
Depends what
No,
you mean
they're-
by insect.
I mean, a giant face-eating insect.
Oh, not Mexicans. No, I haven't.
Well, it was.
I remember them quite fondly. Huge chitinous critters walking around walking around with big clicky feet and sounding like.
I swear I've heard of a place where those things used to be around. Something like Yunka 5 or some shit like that.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Private.
Sounds pretty
There's some-
south of the border to me.
But,
You know,
by the way, real quick,
it's
Scott,
yourself when you go.
real quick, the yellow things are these supposed to be beds or are these lockers?
These are beds. The orange is the lockers.
Okay, cool. So I am
Basically, yellow is anything that offers light cover. Orange is hard cover. Black is walls. Red is doors. Green is airlocks. Bluey purpley is hatches. The big grey box is a big grey box.
Oh wow, you actually put effort into your color coding. Okay.
Purple hatches for what?
Travel between
Up and
decks.
down.
Oh.
Up and down.
Listen,
Well, it sounds like we might be. Well, knowing that Scotsman, they're probably still alive. To a stubborn.
I do
yeah.
I do have a crazy idea. You said they're not infected, right?
I
So-
have no idea, but I think they are not.
So
But they
they're
acted like it.
so I mean, shouldn't we like, try and go get them?
Well, from what I saw, the ship was moving, so they might be coming soon, out of themselves.
Sky, how close is my ship to the outside? How close is my bed to the outside of the ship?
Approximately a meter thick bulkhead,
I'm gonna go to the
and
cafeteria.
then some other gubbins on the outside.
If you excuse me, I'm gonna go to the cafeteria right quick, grab me some breakfast.
I'll join you.
That sounds like a mighty fine idea.
Might need some as well, but I don't think I have appetite.
I'll be going to the smoking area.
Look, all
Where's the
I know
smoking
is
area?
I've heard tale of how the Scotsmen drive. All right.
To be honest, I might also need a smoke.
Where's the smoking area?
The smoking area is with a void suit on out the airlock.
How the fuck is that supposed to work?
That is a hell of a
But it-
hotbox thing. I'll tell you that.
You say you just put a fucking. You roll a ball of it, you stick it in the fucking filter.
Nah, the thing is, you just go to the toilets and then you just hide it.
Oh, well then.
See,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
why you guys
wait.
just chew tobacco like me.
Liquid tobacco.
I miss my
Called
life.
God, people are gonna vape in space, aren't they?
Oh,
Probably will.
of course they are.
What do you think the noise was?
Listen,
Vader conferred vapor.
It's vape,
Let
so
me-
nobody can hear you vape.
He's Darth Vapor.
let me get some
This is
vodka. I need some after this mission.
Well,
So, you killed him then. I don't start that conversation.
Listen, killing them is. It's a big word, mostly.
What word would you use?
All senior officers to the bridge. All senior officers to the bridge.
Is that us?
No.
no.
That's,
No, our grunts aren't.
Thank God.
well, I suppose what's you Americans. What do you Americans? Oh yes, yeeted out of the airlock.
Mm.
Was the term?
Yeet it. Haven't heard that since the Fifth War.
No, I think I read an audiobook once about some dude hitting a planet from an exploding spaceship.
Well,
Damn Article 17 ruined everything.
you mean Article 117?
I thought all previous articles to 0 were called null and void and erased from the records.
Oh, this is
Yes.
interesting.
But this was new EU. The new you.
New EU.
We don't talk. We don't like
Neo.
to talk about the Earth League around here.
EU Neo.
No you. No you.
What
The
would
Earth
EU
League.
look like?
It would be the Earth Union,
The Earth Union.
which would then become the Star League, and then we'll get into the battle. Then we stumble into the BattleTech universe.
Coffee.
Oh, damn.
Coffee and donuts. Oh,
Scully, I like your style.
coffee and donuts makes a man happy. I could just sit here all day in peace and quiet and eat my breakfast.
You people are a bunch of degenerates. As he goes back to eating his breakfast steak.
Eggs and bacon.
All hands to stations. All hands to stations.
God dang it!
Well, let's see if that's down.
dear
Fuck
Christ.
the code. The steak is coming with me.
I just shove a handful of egg and bacon into my mouth and just.
So, where's the mini center?
How many donuts can I fit in my pockets?
Oof.
So, where's the medi
Depends.
center?
Is there a hole in the pocket or not?
I don't think so.
So,
know,
where's
optimize
the?
it.
What is our
Where's the-
station actually?
Jesus.
Well, first we gear up.
Okay.
Well, so we
Oh,
go
so
to
the
the
lock-
quartermaster.
Taking this, taking this, taking this, taking this, taking this. Done.
You weren't expecting the man with the neatly kept white hair and mustache to be strapping on what amounts to a bunker suit.
The quartermaster his stores are towards the rear of the ship. It has
yes.
the large red hatch next to the firing range.
Are those
This
the blue
one.
lines on it? Or no?
Oh, yeah, this
Uh,
one. This one. Right here.
Yes,
Where?
however, around the outside, please.
Oh, it's the outside. Ah, yes.
Around the outside.
So, standard equipment, like usual.
Yeah, I have orders to not provide you with any current equipment, sir. However, the rest of you can withdraw your standard equipment. You'll need to quickly remind me what it is. Just so my orderly can go and collect it.
Can I take my 20mm?
No, you should not take your 20mm for internal defense, sir.
Alright, I'll take the river sniper then.
But check. I need
Okay.
my
You get your
standard
sniper
set.
rifle.
I need my standard set of med kits, the grenades, a few magazines as well as the guns.
Not issuing grenades currently, again, for ship defense.
Yes, they are going for the internal defense. I know what is coming.
However, you get your assault rifle. Who is next? Please
I'll take my
go
flak
and
armor.
stand somewhere. Please return to your stations once you have your equipment.
Alright, so I'll take my.
Leave
Where's the
captain has
medi
issued
center?
orders to collect void suits from the available airlocks.
Where's the med center?
I'll take flak armor, my med pack, magazines for the sniper rifle, along with sniper rifle, combat knife.
Understood.
So,
Collect your equipment. The medical supplies are
Where's-
available in the med bay to the in the next room across.
Can I have
Where-
a couple more? Can I have a couple more magazines of the sniper rifle?
Not at this time. There are several people I need to still process, and we are on a short timer. Private.
Understood.
Is the med bay the room directly to the left or the right of
the right.
Thank you.
I'll take
Where
my
we-
standard sniper loadout. Pronto.
Where was
so
going at?
this airlock or the other ones?
Collect your
The left airlocks.
airlocks are all available for collecting the void suits. However, the crewmen and rangers guarding it give you somewhat concerned looks at your approach. It will
And
What are
take
these
you
guys? How are
some
these guys
time.
looking?
They are also looking somewhat apprehensive as they are on alert. However, the storage for the void suits is not a it's not a standard issue order to get void suit equipment. Normally it is just the basic ballistic armor. Is any other equipment requiring deployment at this time? Because I need you have collected your equipment, yes.
Alright.
I've collected mine, and I've got a void suit on.
And I think I have one as well, unless they refuse.
Flak, track, and flame, boys.
Alright,
Know
I
the
go
drill.
grab the ballistic armor from the airlock unit. Yeah.
Yep.
Alright.
Please go to the airlock where you were equipping it, and I will let you know when you have finished putting it on, as it is not a expedient operation.
Whoa!
The alarm went off.
Jesus.
And I'm going to have to call a pause there while I just load in the next thing.
Knew it.
So,
Okay. 5 minutes earlier than expected. Huh.
time flies.
Yes.
Uh,
It's not like I was timing as well.
don't worry. As several things happened that were time faff that would have taken minutes longer, so I just took that off the timer.
Should do.
So, you were in this airlock, I believe. You were in that airlock. As believe it or not, the little cupboard outside the airlock is not the airlock. Just so you know. That's fine, just letting you know. Is the airlock vestibule, which is guarded, as opposed to the actual airlock itself.
Right.
Because guarding the airlock seems a somewhat fruitless task. Mr. Pittman is somewhat distressed by the entry of, well, by the void doors opening up. At which point our two glamorous assistants will be joining us. I had not uploaded this image yet. This will hopefully be nice and quick. The
Do it,
artwork
showtime.
today has been done by the ever-talented ritualist, who I'm hoping might watch and give me some more for free. Because to be fair, he did the cover for this, and the cover is so good.
It is.
That man is an amazing artist.
That is magnificent.
Oh dear.
Almost.
And
I'm sorry, what? The ever-living...
Pastafari, are you here?
Alright.
Yes, I am.
Good. You are now also in time. So, I believe Mr. Pittman is in the appropriate airlock.
Yes.
This is not over the intercom, so you do not hear this, anyone else. But Mr. Pittman, you hear this massive behemoth standing before you say, "Bow to me, mortal." What do you do?
Someone asked.
Do I see? Do I see Varric and what was his name again?
Mr. Thumper and Mr. Holt are indeed present with him. They appear to be quite heavily armed and are looking... Oh, I don't know how they look, particularly, but I'm sure they'll be willing to tell you.
Well, I'm wearing my helmet, so it's kind of difficult to tell.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still
Your
dressed
posture might give it away.
Yeah. I look serious, but not super threatening towards him, just like we're here for business kind of posture, you know?
Yeah, and Thumper is just... He has this angry and determined look to him.
Okay, as this is not being particularly expedient, over the...
Bill just left the group. Well, he misclicked. No,
My bad.
No,
Okay.
over the intercom. Mr. Pittman, you hear... Pittman, what's going on in there? We heard the airlock.
I will tap the intercom and I will quickly say, "Man, give me a second." Then I'll go off the intercom and say, first he'll look a bit just a bit confused towards Holt and Thumper, and then he'll look to the big thing, and say, "Oh, all right," and he'll bow slightly.
Very good. Take me to the one who leads you.
Thumper offers a hand to help him up.
I'm just bow slightly. I didn't go on.
It's
on
like the
a knee or
courtly
anything.
bow, you know, where you don't go full on your knees.
And
Kind of thing.
I'll first say, if you don't mind, sir, would you mind telling me who you are and why?
I am Leander. These mortals before you and one other invaded my ship and did grievous damage to my specimens. This shall not hold. However, you are not the superiors here, so instead I will take up this quarrel with your commander. Take me to him, but first, open this door.
I will. Just I'm able to talk. I'm able to talk to the commander from here using the intercom. So if you don't mind, I can just tell him right now.
They're
Skog,
banging from the other side of the door.
is he really that big? Is he taking up 4 squares?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
shit.
big.
He
Hey,
is an
real big.
absolute unit.
Hey,
I just
look,
pressed-
Look who picked the best room to be in.
I pressed the intercom. So where is he? Where was the ship landing?
Medic Pittman requesting to contact the commander right now.
Right now. I need to have a conversation now.
You are put on hold now.
This is Captain Klein and Captain Stavry. What is your report, Airlock 4?
On that, then, seemingly
To the point, please.
mechanized entity capable of intelligent communication has entered through the airlock and is requesting to communicate with you, sir.
They have security cameras in the airlocks, I'm sure.
Yes, the intercom channel switches to the public address system. Captain Stavry comes over the radio and says, "What business have you here? We were not expecting guests."
Pittman will say, "That's the commander speaking."
To which Leander turns to Mr. Holt and goes, "Is this your commander? The one who would speak to me with his technology?"
Not my squad leader that was with us, you understand, but he is the commander of this vessel, aye, sir.
Yes, he is the ranking
That will do.
officer.
At which point, he opens the door and steps through.
Oof.
He opened an airlock? Well, I
Those
still say
two
I picked-
guards.
I
Oh,
still
can
say I
open
picked the best. Monsters can't open doors. Oh no!
You hear hurried over the intercom, "Captain, he's opened the door, what do we do?"
You
Don't
don't
die.
I'll just
Captain
fix that
responds,
fucking
"Is-
door."
Is he hostile? To which, anyone want to reply?
He might. This is Medic Pittman. He might be. He is not. He hasn't killed anyone. So, judging by the condition of the airlock, I'd have to say it's quite likely he's able to.
He has just pressed the control panel and opened the door. It's not.
Oh, okay. All right. That's a little better.
You didn't really specify that, so we assumed
I
you
said
just
he
opened
opened the door. I should have been more specific, yes.
Yes.
Ripped open the door.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
actually what I was suspecting.
The exterior door has shut in this meantime, by the way, so you're not being yeeted out into space. Also, Mr. Pittman, you have finished putting on your armor, somewhat awkwardly for the last minute.
Yes. Even judging.
Mr. Leander, at which point goes, out of my way, mortal. At which point, I'm going to roll a test to see how this guy reacts. Badly.
Oh shit!
When I get down to that division of the ship, that guy better made like the street is his meat and beat it. Because if he ain't, I'm gonna kick his ass for the rest of the fucking evening.
Wait, is he just walking through the box?
That's a fucking.
Oh
hatch.
no. Oh no. Bill.
Ooh, that stands before me.
Oh no.
My name is Elon Sanders, the 117th. Now who the fuck are you?
I am Leander. Your men have damaged my precious ship and destroyed many of my samples. I wish to speak with your commander for the repercussions.
Who's the fucking chicken botherer who managed to do that?
I'm not quite sure I understand what you mean, human.
Listen, there's a reason you're here scuffing up all my hallways that I'm gonna have to fix. Now tell me which cocksucker fucked up your shit so I can personally kick his ass.
I did not ask his name, he did not ask me mine, but he was with these two gentlemen who were standing behind me.
Oh. Hey boys. What? Nice to know you made it back.
Hey, laddie.
I was about to ask,
which cocksucker is responsible? Hang on. I don't remember who's on that mission now. Okay. Boss, what we have here is a failure to communicate. I suggest what you do now is you get the scrawny cocksucker who did this, you send him down, or I will drag him down here. Because
I'm
currently,
not quite sure who you're addressing here. Do you talk to I, or do you talk to those humans that you'd speak to through the electronics?
I am on the phone.
Understood. However, in this time that we are standing here, we could be going towards them. Now stand aside.
Now hold your horses, I'm finding out where he is. Now which fucking room is that dumbass in so I can go kick his ass?
I might die, I don't care anymore.
I look at the guy next to me and point towards the airlock and the void suits just in case.
Skog, I believe Bill's talking to the high command at that point.
I'm talking like
he's waiting for them to respond.
I'm calling. I'm on the open channels. Like, where is this idiot? Because I heard the story about the airlock, and I'm not so pleased about that.
Ensign Hunter Gang is in airlock number 1.
Oh,
That
there's your
is
problem.
that is the front right corner for the
Can anyone say
land based amongst you.
I can hear this?
Here's your mistake. You took the wrong airlock. Your best bet, rather than trying to fit through the hatches here, is you go back out that airlock, down the starboard side, and get in through the top front there. If you try and drag your ass through here, you're gonna catch every damn bulkhead on the way through. Probably tear half your armor off. Besides, this stuff's expensive. Your stuff looks pretty expensive too.
Don't worry. Your ship is vast enough to contain my immense size. Have no fears. I have had sufficient time to analyze your communications to pinpoint his location. I shall have no further assistance from you. At which point he just sort of walks past you, kind of pushing you into the wall.
Ooh.
Okay,
In that case, I'm going to cling to the side of him. Now, I hate to bring this up, but unfortunately, due to the size of you, you are actually, blocking fire exits.
Don't worry, that shall not be a matter for me to deal with.
If I keep
It's
getting
not
scraped across this wall, it may be a bigger problem than you think. I look at the fucking massive tank of fuel that's getting scraped off of me.
He appears to be unfazed by this.
What's the name of the guy in the room with me who did it? What's your name?
Sir, this is a gross violation of health and safety regulations. I'm pretty sure this voids
Oh my
all of
God.
our insurance.
It's Fire Marshal Bill.
Literally.
At this point, he's along for the ride whether he wants to or not. All the straps are entangled.
I read chat.
Okay, really? That's something.
Mortal, this intersection. Which way am I meant to be going here?
You're after the airlocks, right? You want to take the right?
Whoever is in command, it matters not at this point.
If you want to get to the airlocks, you want to take the starboard door. If you want to go to speak to high command, it's straight ahead.
Yeah.
Decisions.
Let's roll a morale check for this lad. This guy with something on the spine, if one goes, "Sir, I must ask that you stop and wait here."
He's actually correct. We technically still need to let the gentleman know that you're here.
Well,
That's rude.
Now
got
this is
it,
when it
got
gets
it.
awkward. I have to have a conversation with myself.
Oh no. I've
My
done it.
character is entangled on the back of this NPC.
Hello.
Which of you is in command here?
The guy who
The sound
doesn't-
of rifles being cocked is heard at the other end of the room.
That didn't sound too good. Could someone tell me what's going on the other side of the 10-foot tall machine?
These lockers have such
Gonna have to check the
fascinating-
names.
These lockers have such fascinating workmanship on them.
The gentleman in the floppy purple hat introduces himself as Captain Klein. I am the captain of this vessel. And at which point the gentleman in the purple cloak also responds with, "I am Ranger Captain Stavry. I lead the Marines aboard this vessel."
Dumper,
Who are you?
You shouldn't have done that.
I am Leander. Your men assaulted my ship, destroyed precious artifacts, and did their very best to kill myself in the process. I wish for them to be reprimanded.
Okay, I must. Okay, how long have I been struck on this guy's back? Like a good couple minutes. I'm looking for an. He's luckily I happen to be a combat engineer. I'm looking for an off switch or a power plug I can pull, and have been this entire time.
Roll an Arcana check if you'd like to.
Not touch anything, just looking for something that looks promising.
That's fine. Roll an Arcana check. You conclude this guy seems to just be a massive unit of a human.
Oh, then what happens next is going to be
Presumably
even...
some voice modulation through his helmet visor.
Oh.
And I did see that stealth check, don't worry. Reprimanded how? Replies Captain Stavry. To which Leander looks thoughtful for a moment and then goes, "I will leave that in your care. I had intended to engage in a trade with your ship. However, the manner of your meeting has not left me too disposed as it stands.
Did this
If you
motherfucker
wish,
really
I may reprimand your reprobate ensign myself, if he will give up his position. Which point
Did
he's
this guy?
sort of, yes?
Did this guy really come all this way just to demand someone be spanked?
Yes.
And probably claim on his. Well, if he doesn't do that, I'm pretty sure the insurance will refund him the cost of his all this stuff.
I don't think there's space insurance.
I would be fucking astounded if there wasn't space insurance.
Yeah, concerned this is
Yeah.
Trump's America in the future of the Space Force. Yeah.
Okay, the International
What
Space
if my
Station cost
poor-
$94 billion to
Okay.
make. They
Okay.
are insured up to the
401k.
nuts.
There is probably space insurance, but probably not for Leander. I don't think Leander has it.
Where's my
Who knows?
401k?
At which point, after the captain sort of looks rather bemused, Leander steps towards the nearest console, puts his hand up against it, basically just sort of mashing the console buttons, and booms through the ship's PA, "Come out like a man or die."
So I walk in and I go, I look at the big armored guy and I go, "Sir, I've located him, but he's escaped. He's out this airlock. Follow me." And can I roll the seven?
Oh damn! I thought you were about to tell him he's in this locker. Come see. That would have been great.
That would have been the best fucking
Glad.
thing.
Lead the way.
Yes.
I'm curious as to your end game here. This is gonna be good.
Don't worry, I've got a plan as well, and I feel like we're about to do the fucking.
So look to that door to your right. He's out there. And I grab onto the handle of the locker and hope I don't get sucked up.
Sorry, my job's on here, sir. I'll have to
Open up
Hang
that
on.
door. He's in there.
untangle myself.
Bill, you're currently wearing a void suit. Just so we're clear.
Yeah, I know. That's why I've disentangled myself from the giant unit.
I'm gonna try to persuade him
Goes.
not to open the airlock.
So he is out the door.
Not successfully.
What are you babbling about, human? As he punches the door release.
Oh no.
Could you all make a dex save for me?
Oh no. It's happening again.
Holy shit! Wow!
Stu, are you standing in the other door?
Yeah.
Okay, at that point,
No.
you cannot stand there and have the airlock open.
Okay.
So choose
So
the
you
door.
just-
Hang on, I'll
Choose the
cycle.
side.
The inside or outside, the door is closing.
So either
Um,
yeah or yeah.
Yeah.
Choose your path.
Choose, my friend.
Make it interesting if you stay outside of it.
Exactly. Well, I hope
This
this
shouldn't
can't
be
be
too
open without
difficult a
cycling
decision.
here.
I mean, I don't think. Is this really that difficult a choice? Mister?
I don't know, honestly, at this point. I'm very...
Oh, so I was under the impression that the airlock was out that way, that not this was the actual airlock.
No, this is the actual airlock.
In that case, I will step out here. In that case,
That door opens to the void of space, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Still,
I'm gonna motion to everyone else, just like, let's let the man do his thing. We don't want to get in his way now.
It's a little late for most people to make that decision.
Yeah.
I'm low key motioning for everyone in who's part of the crew to egress out of the room.
Scott, can we do
Mortal,
that? Or?
get out of the way of the door. I
Still-
can override this
still
one if
move.
necessary.
Okay, I'll stay with you two then. There you go.
Well,
Scott,
boys, it's
we
been fun.
Door
Well,
slides shut.
let's hope he's.
I'm gonna casually walk over to the
Door opens. He moves, stand in the doorway. I do not see him out there. I fear one of you is lying to me.
I'm going to. Skog, I would
I
like
shall not ask this question again. Where is he as the airlock shuts?
Sir, I think we've been duped.
No shit!
At this point, I've preliminarily spooled up my flamethrower.
The crewman next to you looks somewhat concerned. But
Don't worry, son. I've been doing this a long time. I will then tap on the keys. I'm going to keep the door. Can I access the panel to rig it so that these doors remain shut?
You can attempt.
I'd like to do just that.
Arcana,
correct? Fantastic.
Skog, I'd like to tap. Like, is there a way to talk directly to Is there a way to talk just to command, like just to them?
Yes.
I like in the airlock I'm at. I like to push a button and talk to command and be like, officers, what are my standing orders right now?
In all honesty, Ranger, I have no idea. This has never happened before.
Very well.
I feel that we will continue to take the situation as it stands. If they should become violent, we shall react with deadly force. Otherwise, I suppose he has the right of it from all reports.
All right, I'll just stay here.
Also fear he may outrank me.
Understood, Captain. I'm just going to stay in here and keep the ship safe from synths.
Yes, Bill.
I would like to also, given the degree of success, turn off the oxygen supply to that room. Here's my idea: is that he needs a lot more oxygen than most of the people in that room. He will probably pass out first.
Understand?
I'm wearing a void suit.
Yeah, most of them are wearing void suits.
Yeah.
He's not.
You're still wearing it.
Well, you're making
he might be.
That's not one. Yeah.
If I will also
suit anyway.
Yeah, but what I'll also do is I'll have a little macro ready to when I hit a button, I want it to open the door like a ½ inch. You know, just flamethrower nozzle width. Because it doesn't matter how much, it doesn't matter how good his voice suit is, it doesn't help him if he's on fire.
The door opens centrally, for your information.
It is actually.
I look at him and say, no, don't take out the oxygen. Fill it with nothing but pure oxygen.
No, so don't really realize. That's a beginner's mistake. Everyone thinks a flamethrower is all about setting someone on fire. It's all about denying them air. He will die of carbon monoxide poisoning way before he dies of heat.
So while he's standing there,
That's why you're a grunt and I'm a combat engineer, son.
while he's standing there, Kendrick will look to the giant again after having held on for dear life onto a locker door.
Roll a stealth check again for me, Friedrich.
Oh dear
Christ,
why?
I'm going to bring open a closer comms.
Acting like an empty void suit.
And this one is this one is going to be a 1. I'm fucking certain of it.
No, it's going to be a 2.
You may want to stay away from the door for the foreseeable future.
Not bad. Hey, we're both right. It's a 1 and a 2.
So, may I ask, what kind of, do you want to kill him?
If it comes to it, I wish to hear him out first.
So, you wish to hear
Necessary, hear him out in airlock.
If you don't mind, I just want to ask a few questions, I suppose, because now I don't know what Varric Boy and Thumper has told you, but these three were sent on a mission to investigate your ship. Now, I don't know why they chose to do as they did with your specimen. As someone with a certain interest in biology and medicine myself, I can understand why that would anger you.
Hear dice rolling.
He steps towards you, crouches down, and points at his forehead, which shows what is quite obviously a bullet hole.
Oh, shit!
And you can just see some bits of bullet in the armor still. He says nothing, however. He just points at this hole through the face of his visor.
That's funny because
Well,
I didn't shot him. I didn't shoot him.
Friedrich, you're going to get a message through from your suit's comms. Boy, just when I think you've done the stupidest thing you could possibly do, I find some other tidbit out about your last mission.
Now, Kendrick will nod, and he will say, and it was Officer Frederick that did that to you.
If that is his name, yes. The two with me, to my knowledge, have offered me no direct hostility. Unless, of course, they have anything they would like to own up to. Rolls intimidation. Could you oppose on I'm going to say, a charisma save?
Everyone?
Might be
No,
will.
just those two.
Could be
Oh,
will
no.
as well. Wisdom. Could be wisdom as well.
Varric
Well.
holds firm and says nothing. Thumper makes a series of mostly incoherent.
And take full advantage of the fact that these things absorb urine.
I cast
After a while, the
prestidigitation.
filters stop working, right?
I cast prestidigitation.
Did not. I don't think you. No. But we did two
I tell you, you'll be
things.
fine.
I cast prestidigitation.
No. Well, until I'm sure that at the moment the command is trying to locate the offender. So, may I ask you, sir? May I ask you what the purpose of your specimen were?
I had been bringing information back from the deeper space. I had been following a ship for many weeks. I had caught up to it in time to take some samples from it, but I had not had time to complete the studies, shall we say, before your crewman chanced upon it and destroyed the remainder of the samples.
I see.
Also, Hitman, you're on a stealth check.
Ooh.
Also, I would like to point out, you guys realize that he's been told that his target is in this room, and now if he finds that the target is not in this room, he will decide that we are being deceitful to him, and many bad things may start to happen.
That's very true. Bright side, we're on his side. For the moment.
For the moment.
Unless he decides to kill us.
To be honest, Frederick is trying to read this guy, for lack of a better word.
It's quite difficult. He has a visor and two glowing eyes behind it.
I am.
You're not
Well,
quite
that
sure
might
if
be
they're
true.
lights or his eyes.
Okay, I'm
Well,
actually going to put out a note on this point to both the allies I have in the room and to command. He's a big dude in a suit. He's not a robot.
Theoretically.
Bullets can.
No, I've seen the inner workings of that suit. He's a man in a power armor suit.
Upon
Or in
hearing
just an
that-
incredibly large, regular body armor suit.
Upon hearing that, Kendrick will nod.
He's
Say,
apparently taken a bullet to the head and not flinched.
Could have been small arms, you know.
A non-penetrating
Well,
bullet to the head.
Yeah, Frank
well,
around. So basically he's wearing drywall.
Well,
well,
you're deciding what you can do. I'm going to try and find some wire cutters because I've broken my nail almost entirely in half. So one moment.
Ooh. That. Oh god, that's. Oh.
I thought I was melting. Jesus wept.
Golly.
Well, I think I like to think I made a good impression on my first section.
yeah.
Well,
I honestly, like, I don't think he's gonna kill him. Just take your medicine and let's get this over with.
Fuck that, I want his armor.
So, let's stealth check, Mr. Pittman.
I don't need a stealth check.
Matter of sleight of hand, it's up to you.
That or a side of why?
I want to see how you're reacting because you're in a fairly high-stress situation. I want to see if you glance at the lockers.
I don't know he's in there.
Do you
He
shoot
doesn't
yourself
know.
loudly or quietly?
I unironically
You
do
might
not
not
know
know
that
what's
he's
in
in
there,
there.
but you're probably not wanting to look at him the entire time.
Hmm.
He's more like to
Yeah,
look at,
fine.
like, yeah, just like honestly,
Everywhere.
roll a d8, pick a direction you glance in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That'd be better.
There we go.
that would be better.
Roll the scatter dice on your vision.
Let's see.
Well,
I'm
you're
looking
directly
towards
back.
him.
Yeah, say, look directly the fuck back at him. As funny as it would have been for you to just go like look behind, hit you yourself, like he's like, is he speaking to some other cunt?
I am looking towards. I am looking
Towards the airlock.
the airlock.
So, humans, you stand before me, and yet one of you, at least, has lied to me. I have other ways of exacting information from those who are reluctant. Shall I ask again? Where is he?
I have no idea.
So, they might not have been lying. There are other doors, but I doubt they are there.
Is that
Oh.
way?
It could be somewhere within this room, which we haven't checked.
Now, if I remember correctly, someone told you that he was in an airlock. Correct? In one of the airlocks on the ship. This is just one of them, and he wasn't on the one in which you entered. There are still 2 of them left.
Well, but they did direct us towards this one, wasn't it? I do believe the gentleman outside directed us towards this one. In fact,
I
Let me
remember.
just see if that's a roll. It is not. That is unfortunate for you. I shall make this simple. I hear your breathing.
oh
I
shit!
hear 4 people's breathing against my own in this room, and yet 3 are visible. How shall I find you? And
Can
he
I
will
access
just
the intercom to
be,
the room he's in?
into this locker.
Oh,
There is a bursting crackle of energy, and it kind of smells like the air's on fire.
At this moment, Bill, the airlock is kind of open. 5 feet or 5?
Not yet.
enough for
But
the
what I'm
Not
looking
yet.
through now is there any freight, like equipment in that airlock? As in, is there any kind of freight processing stuff? Like, is there anything that would normally be used to carry heavy objects, like any kind of gravity manipulation,
There
any kind of
is
turret beam type
nothing-
stuff?
There is nothing heavy equipment-wise in that airlock. It is a personnel only. You know this.
Did he just take an
from
hostile
experience with
action?
the ship. The freight
He
airlock is in
he
the
took a
basement.
hostile action as he wrecked part of the ship.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh,
and
true.
it's time.
Yeah, it's time for initiative,
Oh,
boys. Because like he just broke one of the good suits.
Oh wait, never mind.
There's only like 3 suits in this
There
entire
we go.
fucking level that fit me, and he just broke one of them.
Does someone want to tell High Command that hostile action has been taken by the intruder? Am I the only one who's able to do that? He is an intruder, yeah. He's definitely not a
You-
guest.
You tell me that
Oh.
you tell him he's an intruder, I shoot you.
Well then.
Don't worry, I'm not going to open this door until the flames start flying.
Things get interesting.
Oops.
Anyone else want to roll their initiatives?
10.
I rolled.
I have no idea what's going on. I was told to just sit here, so that's what I'm doing.
I'm not on the list of the turn orders.
Would have been
You
funny if you
have to
guys.
You need to
click your icon.
You see,
You
you
have
know, would've been-
20 initiative.
What would've
Initiative.
I
been-
can add to you, it's fine.
Mega, no offense, but I
Okay.
do think you're going to be called into action, so you might want to take initiative before you get called in.
I mean, I can, but I mean, Let me get to my character. Da, 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 da.
True.
Oops.
Select my
Descending.
character. Give me a moment. Initiative. There it is.
To be honest, you can hear the crunch of the fucking thing breaking open. So I think that is.
I don't
enough.
imagine you would through like 6 bulkhead
Yeah,
doors.
like
No,
look
but the
how
rest-
far
The
I
rest
am.
would.
This airlock here was a little open, wasn't it?
It is set to be openable a small amount. Bill did pass his test on that one.
He's got a
He's
map
not
that
100% if it's going to work until he does it, however.
Okay.
As,
It's
it's
currently
not a
rigged with
general
a map.
thing for a program an airlock to be very slightly open.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
It's
But,
not usual.
okay, so maybe it's not standard, but it's kind of like when you leave a copy machine on like 10 copies. That's not standard for setting either, but you always get some ball bag that leaves it on that. This is like that.
Yeah.
It's loaded up. If you hit the button, it will open that like inch and a half. And when that happens, my flamethrower is pressed up against the fucking can.
I still have my knife and pistol, if I remember. Seeing that it's standard equipment that I can carry outside.
He makes another angry lunge for the next locker. Sombrero.
All right. So, is Bill crouching down by chance, or is he standing up?
Oh, I would be. I believe the usual practice with flamers is to keep stood.
All right.
As
So I'm gonna walk
you need
up.
the height.
I'm gonna walk up
Disperse it.
behind you and set my rifle on your left shoulder. And can I take any sort of initiative or any sort of like attack on sight or anything?
Ready action.
Or
You can
ready?
ready
Can I
him.
take a ready?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna set my rifle on the shoulder and take a ready.
Crouching
Okay,
kill,
that
standing
will
rifle.
not work as stated because the fuel tank on my flamer is so large. However, there is a little like pivot you can hovel out that is designed to take rifles.
Ah,
Oh, all right. I'll do
It's
that.
like, it's like an old school musket rest kind of dealy.
nice.
All right.
Normally
so, yeah,
used
I'll
in
just
storage of the tank.
go ahead and I say plug your ears jokingly, and yeah, you're ready.
Yeah, plug his ears while he's old.
Bill's not wearing a void suit. He has minimal armor on at the moment.
No, I got a flak suit and a fucking apron.
That's true.
You have the flak suit and the apron, but no void suit underneath.
Yeah, I don't intend to open this to the void. I intend to open this to fire. And nothing else. Then shut the cunt up again whilst the guy burns.
So, you are done then?
Yes, that's the end of my turn.
No one knows I'm in this locker.
Don't worry, I'm sure once you're carbonized, we can identify you by your dental records. If you're lucky.
Also, Bill, I have a nice little ability that allows you to fire earlier.
Provided he can hear you.
He had direct communication with me.
Yeah.
I just said nothing.
There you go.
Just throw it, Mike. You can still talk to me.
Mr. Funback.
Yeah, I'm gonna move over to the square where I'm putting right now. If that's
Had
okay.
I started the guns I'd given you last time?
Oh, no.
The gun, as in the.
Yep, I had done.
VR. Yeah. Yes. So I can move over here.
Yep.
Correct. Yes. And I'm gonna. Is there like an Overwatch option?
Ready to action.
You can
on
take a ready
movements.
action if you are moved at hostilely. You can use the ready action. Otherwise, you have to wait until your next turn. But you can count as having a bonus if you don't do anything until your next turn.
Okay. So I can get a bonus then.
But just as a note, for those who are making readied actions, you need to specify what your readied action is.
Yeah. My ready action is, at least in theory, to try to shoot Pittman if he tries to move.
Hey then.
Are you? I'm hoping you say, "Don't move," because
Yeah.
just standing there waiting for him to move without saying anything is kind of a dick move.
No,
I
it's
said
not gonna be like that. But it's like,
Holy shit, he's multiplying. Whoa, weird.
Do not move. At all.
Sense.
Friedrich.
I open the command line to Hank Hill.
My name is Elon, you fucking Philistine.
Command. Open fire.
It is
Oh,
your
you
choice
know
whether
just the
you
right
use this
words
or
to
not.
say.
Small ability. I can allow you to fire your
Right.
gun on my
Bill
turn.
hasn't opened the lock yet.
Now, he did say open fire. I get to decide what that comma is.
Autistically literal.
But can you
You
do
motion?
2 actions?
Are you opening the door then?
His question, does it allow me to, if it allows me to act slightly earlier? Actually, it doesn't. It just let me do what I was going to do anyway. Oh well, it is plausible deniability.
You motion to the rather concerned-looking officer by the door, who presses the open button as you have asked him to in the previously. At which point you may take your action to shoot.
Fire.
When the door opens, do I get my ready action, or is that if they charge?
You are not having a hostile action taken against you, so you cannot use the ready action yet.
All right.
So, yeah, could everyone in that room take 14 points of burning damage, please?
Oh,
Wait,
14.
I'm in a locker. Does
It's
that give
fire.
Structures don't care what you're in. So flamethrowers don't care what structures you're inside. They're kind of designed to destroy bunkers and by killing all the occupants.
14 damage, you say?
Yes, minus your armor.
Okay.
No, your
Armor.
armor class, your armor.
Okay,
That's
minus
fine.
my armor.
That is minus or
And
if I remember
one thing I'm going to
right.
make sure I hose down is this guy here, his power pack, because he's facing away from me. I've got a good angle on it.
You know,
So
I am
be
at
the
-6 because I still haven't recovered.
I feel you, I'm at -5.
I feel you may have made poor decisions.
No, because now he can fire again, and I don't care if I die if I take them with me.
That's the spirit.
Gotta
I'll get
become a
ready to make
real-
good on that promise.
That's the spiritus.
I'm going to make sure you're doubly dead.
So, you have used one shot from your tank, and everyone is that little bit on fire inside. And outside.
I'm still alive!
Don't worry, not for much longer.
So, Colonel Sanders.
Fun fact, that's actually who he's most related to out of all the Sanders, not Bernie. That's by the name.
Burning Sanders.
You notice he seems mostly unfazed.
Oh boy!
I'm gonna roll Arcana to see if I can identify a major
Oh,
system.
wait,
I
is
can
that a
knock
health
out.
bar above his head?
Sorry?
Is that a health bar above his head?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Ooh.
Okay, let's try and ID
I'm going
where
to give you an indicator bar. It's, you know.
That's Arcana. Now, are there any heat-sensitive components in his suit? Or, more importantly, is his suit compromised in any way, shape, or form?
It appears to be a complete suit of solid plate armor, but it has the texture of, like, Kevlar.
Oh shit.
You're not really sure, but he looks... It does just look like a big suit of metal armor, so you reckon you could probably cook him.
Oh, that's a fantastic idea, actually. and if anything else, I should at least get all whatever ammunition he uses to cook off after a while. It's like how they used to throw Molotovs at fucking Russian tanks, and then occasionally, once in a blue moon, it would just cook off all the ammunition in the main turret and kill everyone inside.
Call me crazy, but I don't think this guy uses ammunition.
Don't worry,
No.
we'll soon find out now, won't we?
You've just flamed the room again, haven't you?
Yeah.
And he crit.
I'm dead.
I think-
Everyone.
Sorry, guys.
You had to.
You know I had to do it too.
Oh no.
So, Yeah, all of you are taking at least 4 damage from that. Because your maximum armor class is 4. From your raw armor, because you get no dex save from fire.
Also,
Scott,
Now-
when is the ship's fire suppression automatic systems going to kick on?
Don't worry, that's on the cube.
Okay, cool.
also, I am officially dead. GG.
Yay.
And now, as my final action on my turn, I would like to close the door.
And may I, as automated systems, just play Erica?
You have to kill your medic. I'm not making another medic if I die.
Sure thing, I will make a medic.
Greg!
Greg is just sitting there.
And
Wait,
that's how you kill people.
Well, the cafeteria still has donuts.
Oh, fucking hell yeah.
I wonder if things are different in another lair locker. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Huh. The door doesn't seem to want to open. Oh well.
What was your maximum hit points, Pastor?
My max was 12.
Okay, so you should be on -2.
No, because I was a 5 when we came in.
Okay then, this is gonna go badly.
Yep.
Surely they won't all be dead by the time I get there.
10, that's 14. Also, what is your constitution modifier? And what's your constitution score, Pasta?
I'm dead.
Yay! Hey,
You're not
you can
dead
share this.
yet. You're just hideously burned.
I'm below. I am at my constitution score.
I'll come
Actually,
back
no,
later.
below it.
I'm not having you dead yet. We'll resolve that at the end of the fight, and then we'll see if you're dead.
You're crisp.
Aw.
Yeah. You're not in a good way. Do not get me wrong.
We start rolling death saves.
The $7 man.
Oh yeah. Please note that the floor plan for this ship is 3-foot squares, not 5-foot squares. You might have more movement than anticipated, rounding up.
Cool. Does the door open when I come to it, or are they all?
Yeah,
auto
the door
shut?
can open.
Cool. Hey guys, having fun being alive?
Well, there
Also,
goes
if you're not taking a major action, you can double move.
I think that would be
Boom.
right about.
I'm
think that
not.
puts me
I'm gonna
here.
say you can't run because there's too many doors.
No, I'm not running. I'm just.
He's going to the
walking
cafeteria.
Walking briskly. Actually, you know what? I will end my turn in here because that probably uses up my whole movement.
So, guys, let's
Master
go to the house.
Pittman, death save throw, please.
Yes, one moment.
Well, I look at the commanding officers. Officer,
We-
I salute.
We didn't start the fire.
It's a pass. You are not dying. You recover a hit point.
Yay!
Mr. Holt, I trust you're alive.
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I
You
have
took
minus
14
1
damage.
hit point, so...
So you took 10 damage from the first blast, and then 4 more damage from the second blast. So you've lost 14 hit points.
Yeah.
But you had leveled up. So you should have had additional hit points.
Oh god, they leveled up.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Oh,
did.
yeah.
Oh, I almost wanted to use that quote.
What is?
I'm glad you're
Pasta's?
Yes, I know.
How have you only got 12 hit points, Pasta?
I have
I'm not
10.
sure how you've managed that.
Shit rolls.
I always have.
I have 4. I only have 14, and I'm second level.
I'm 13.
Yeah, that's.
I
that's
got
within-
11, cunts.
You're a trooper, aren't you, Pasta?
Yep.
You've got a D10 hit die. How the fuck do you only have 12 hit points?
He rolled. He got auto 10 on the first one and rolled a 2 on the second one.
Yeah, but
I
he's got
think-
2 constitution, so he's got 12 hit points. You've not leveled up, have you?
I have not leveled up my
Okay,
HP,
Pastor,
I
can you roll
suppose.
me a D10 plus 2, and then a second D10 plus 2?
What?
Okay.
This might be going better for you than you thought, Pastor.
2d10 plus 4. 9.
Okay.
9 hit points.
And
another
1.
3 hit points. So you have 3 hit points.
You're still alive. For now.
Okay.
Damn, you're good at getting burnt, son.
Okay,
Oh,
so
Jesus.
you're alive.
Well, it pumps up. Damn. Shit.
Also, your armor class is lower than it should be. There we go.
Ah.
So, Mr.
Good
Thumper is
job.
alive. Mr. Holt is... I was checking Mr. Holt's stats. Got distracted.
Give me one moment. I'll be right back.
Okay, yeah, Stu, you've also got unreasonably low hit points.
Okay.
Did you both
Have you
forget to
done
level
all
up?
3 hit die?
We didn't do it,
Oh, yeah, you've got your -2 constitution, haven't you?
I suppose.
Ah.
So you have 6 for your first level. Then the maximum you can roll each level is 4. So, yeah, I think you're correct for hit points.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, because you could have had a most 10. So yeah, you're not looking too hot by the look of it, but
No, he is actually hot.
it's looking really, really quite hot.
Oh dear.
You're on -1, but it's been very rapidly applied. So if you can make make a Constitution save for me, and I'll give you an action if you pass. Have you ever seen Burning Man? You've passed the Constitution save. You get 1 turn's actions before the effects of being on fire truly kick in.
Try peeing up in the air. Put yourself up.
Scott, can you do me a quick favor?
Probably.
I have to switch devices right quick, so I'm gonna pop into warp. Can you drag me back into the basement?
That's fine. Yep.
Thank. Can y'all hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. I can start cutting up chicken.
Yeet.
So, what's your action then, Stu?
What's actually happening? Because, sorry, I'm not in a good mood right now.
That's fine. What has happened is Leander has found his way through the ship by various means to the place where he's been told that Doomdash's character is.
Yeah.
At which point he has lost his patience and has started just shanking lockers. At which point Bill has set fire to the room twice in the attempt to try and, kill him. It's not going well. You're kind of on fire, but you have enough. It's happened so quickly, you've passed the save to basically get an action off before, you hit the deck temporarily. You basically get a surprised round.
I've really no fucking idea, honestly.
Yeah, this is not how I anticipated this going down even slightly.
I found the image to
Very clever.
sum up my own reaction to my own actions pretty well. And I'll now post it in the Void General.
The Midnight Moron?
Sorry about that.
No worry.
Bill, why are you committing war crimes? That's a good question now that I think about it.
Did you get excited about having a flamethrower?
I wasn't
Fucking
expecting it to
congrats.
spread out quite so much. I was
It's a flamethrower!
used to it being a line attack.
So, to my knowledge, Stu, you are currently armed with a light machine gun with penetrator rounds.
Yeah.
Oh my.
But I've no fucking idea what I want to do in this situation, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
I'm not-
pretty much just a repeat of the last fucking thing.
I think that's
Oh, damn.
Rituals?
I mean,
Oh, he is watching.
Right.
I mean,
Yes.
of the options that I can see, shoot Bill for setting me on fire, shoot Leander for kicking off the fight, shoot at vaguely where you think Doom might be just for fun.
The problem is, I don't want to start more PvP because that's what's led to this fucking train wreck that's stressing me out and wasting my fucking time. So,
Yeah.
There's the airlock too.
I guess I'll just fucking shoot lockers then. That seems the most in-character thing to do.
Understandable.
Do I even go full auto or what? Does it even matter at this fucking point?
As you wish. Yeah, this is not ideal.
I'll just go full auto. Yeah, whatever. Fucking whatever.
You shoot the fuck out of the lockers next to you, which appears to meet with Leander's approval.
Yeet.
Then it takes his time, ignoring the fact apparently that the room's on fire, to shank the next locker.
Okay, that cheered me up a bit. I will show Ritualist art for the stream.
Kinda dying. Can't even escape.
Right. I will point out the good old-fashioned, you don't have to solve all your problems with violence technique, okay? Just so we're on the same page.
Okay. This was not on the brief I was given. In fact, my brief said quite the opposite, which is what led to the situation.
That's what I said that at the beginning, but somebody wants his power armor, apparently.
Yeah. I
That was
mean,
an in character one, not an out of character one.
oof.
I tried. I just pointed out that there was a hostile action.
All right, it's my turn then.
Yep.
All right, so can I open and close the door without using any actions?
Yeah, you can basically indicate the two orderlies next to you,
Be
to,
back in a
like,
minute.
in that kind of...
All right, so I just pointed them, like, you know, open the door a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and try to put. What?
Yeah, pretty much. You can ask them to open the
Alright.
door.
And I'm gonna try to put 2 into the big guy with armor.
Well, he's a big target. You manage to fire a bullet into one of the gaps in his armor, at which point it sticks there.
Oh, and I go close the door, close the door, close the door, close the door.
2 bullets. Mr. Thumper,
Yes.
you're somewhat singed, but still alive. You're holding a light machine gun.
Yeah. I think actually I'm just gonna. Okay. I'm torn. Okay. Thumper is torn between holding Pikmin hostage, basically. And yeah, like that.
And you're gonna shoot the door. Alright.
Yup. With a full.
I'm back.
Cool.
Oh.
Jam.
Oh.
You expend 1 bullet unjamming it.
Mm.
That is a free action as a result of, you know, competency. Death
Saving
saving
throw.
throw, please. You gain a hit point. Well done.
-9. That was my turn, I think. Oh boy.
Well, it's now Bill's go again. You notice when the door flicks open at intervals, the fire doesn't appear to be working, apart from on your friends.
Oh well, sprinklers on, airlock open.
Which one?
No, we'll try the let's try the sprinklers first.
Please do.
It's fine. Let's play it easy. We'll pass this off like it was a sterilization process.
You quickly call in a fire in the airlock, at which point you hear a somewhat garbled response, but you have a good feeling that you've got your message through.
But I will try and activate it manually using Arcana.
Well, you can't tell because it's the other side of a bulkhead door.
Oh,
but you're pretty sure they're on. Greg.
So, while in the command room, I'm just gonna look at the commanding officer. You know, I might not be the brightest bulb on this knife drawer or the, sanest, but perhaps maybe one of you should, offer this man some reparations, so he stops destroying the ship and maybe comes back here to have a conversation. I'm not, just an idea. If I'm not here, I'm going to jail, so I don't really care.
Is diplomacy a skill? I forget.
Persuasion.
Yes, it is. Yeah. One moment, and I will roll it.
Persuasion. You can roll me a persuasion check.
This is going to be bad, because I don't think Yep, it's going to be bad. I called his mom a cunt, apparently.
You referred to him by his first name, not his rank, which kind of gets him looking a little pissed. However, he does lean onto the intercom and attempt to gain some attention. However, the comms seem to be a little jammed right now, but he was going to continue trying. Gendrick.
Yes. I'm still dead. Death save?
Death saving throw, yep. You're doing good. You're regaining those hit points.
A -1 now. That's all.
Yep, sadly that is all. Mr. Holt, going to allow you to make another Constitution save as you have taken no additional damage. You pass. You are groggy, but you can make another action.
Okay, I'm gonna full auto.
You can hear someone garbling through the intercom. You can attempt to relay what you think is the message. It sounds a bit like, "Stop this madness. Stop this goddamn madness." You think. You can relay that to the room at large.
I'm just gonna go Scotland forever. Just yeet into the lockers again.
Understandable. These lockers are getting fucked.
Yup.
This is all coming out of our plans, I see it.
Having spent the last 18 seconds violently stabbing lockers, he seems to notice something and appears to relax. He has gone from a very, the very big, bright, glowing eyes, the glowing energy spear in his hand, and now he's just sort of relaxed and says something to the effect, you're not quite certain because, the sound of the CO2 venting into the room to try and deal with the fire, but I think he says, "My task is complete." At which point, because, you're not entirely sure why, Thumper, he comes and stands next to you and motions the door.
What?
this functions as a command check. Would you like to roll to oppose this, or do you want to open the door for him?
I'll open the door, I guess.
All right. And open the door.
Bye.
At which point, he then steps out through the doorway, and it's kind of leaving everyone like, the fuck? He just sort of casually jumps out the airlock, and as you see him sort of staring out the airlock in the sense of what the fuck is happening, he appears to then float for a second, at which point he then seems to kick off the air, and on some surprisingly bright boosters, just sort of flies back down to the other end of the ship via the outside. Yeah. So, Mr. Leander has left the building.
Alright,
Mr. Sombrero.
Alright, I radio command, command, come in.
Command here?
Yeah, so I'd like to request an airstrike.
I fear you misinterpret our armaments.
Do we have any fighter support, sir?
No. When he sort of hangs up the radio. Mr. Thumper.
I think he's just gonna stand there for a little bit and be like, fuck. And then once he knows that Leander's gone out completely, he just gestures to close the door. Well, he closes the door.
Okay. The door is now closed. The CO2 has finished venting into the room, and the people who were on fire are significantly less on fire by this point. Friedrich!
Saving throw. That's another success. I think. That's -8 hit points.
Yep.
I'm either getting fucking executed, court-martialed. I don't know. Don't care anymore.
Mr. Elon.
Okay, I'd like to
Or
I'd like
metal.
to call through to Midbay and have them prep basically 4 rooms. And I will, after handing off my...
He'd like to request as usual.
Oh, 4... We got 4 deep fry jobs coming your way, boys. It happened again. I then changed my flamethrower nozzle setting from wide spray to jet.
You probably should have done that.
Listen, someone's been messing with my equipment whilst I've not been using it. These things happen. Now let's get in there and get these people the help they need. I will then I will then place the flamethrower off to one side, closer to the other person here, one of the NPCs, to make it kind of insinuate that maybe it was them that did this. And then I will then draw my sidearm and open up. I will wait and keep a supply route through for the. Do we have like a crash team?
Something resembling that.
I would like to call those and have everything arranged.
They appear to be on their way, from what you can hear of like rushed feet through the intercom when you call them. Mr. Pittman.
I get this open that door as well.
One more.
Hey.
You're alive.
I am at exactly 0 hit points. Am I conscious?
Just about. I'd describe you more as al dente.
God damn you. Well, open his eyes. He'll look around to David and Varric. And also he'll also look towards the airlock. Is that open now?
It's shut.
That was close.
Mr. Thumper shut it again.
Not
The
that
airlock
bit,
into
not
the
the
ship
other
is
one.
open, however.
And then he'll look to. Then he'll look to Elon. And he'll go. Now what the hell?
The black guy got even blacker.
Every fiber in my being is telling me, shoot him and go for the hole he was coming right at me, sir. Goat joke, but that would be mean. Well, I'm naturally in the know about the tone.
Mr. Holt.
Okay. I'm just gonna cradle the gun in my hands and go for a nap.
That sounds like a nice plan.
Yeah.
Could you each make me a dex save, please? Anyone who is currently standing up and or conscious.
Sure.
I am not conscious, actually.
Me too.
Yep.
As the thing is disengaging from the ship, isn't it?
I think that's everyone relevant. Yep, you all managed to stay standing as you feel like a judder run through the entire ship.
Okay. Now, should be noted that don't worry. I kept one thing, keeping this, just so we know, we'll keep the door shut for the time being for one very important reason. The oxygen in there is shut off. It's been torched and filled with CO2. They will be much more easy to deal with once they're all unconscious. And less likely to react to our presence with homicidal rage. Once we got a couple of Valiums into them, they should be fine.
So I take 2 steps forward here, and I reach in my pocket and grab some squash donut from breakfast and throw it at the ground here, and I scream, "Grenade out!"
1 second.
That's a deception roll, isn't it?
Can you ping that? I missed the ping, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Where are you
Next to
throwing it?
Thumper.
I throw it right here. Deception.
Motherfucker.
You can roll to oppose that. You can roll, I think it's a sense motive, if that's an option.
Insight. Insight.
Yeah, insight.
Insight.
Yeah. He falls for it. He screams like a girl and just.
Sombrero! It is not your Lego anymore. However, Mr. Boomerson.
Still thinking it's a grenade, he's just gonna run over. And then he's just gonna look around. And then he's just gonna give up. And just sit down. And just think about his life.
That was how the gang got PTSD.
My turn?
And one might have developed anger issues.
That's
You
the third
are
save.
alive. You're
Sadly.
unconscious, but you're alive. Mr.
Sadly.
Sanders.
Colonel Sanders.
The name's got a lot of jokes in there. Pretty much the only thing about this character I thought out terribly well. Okay, I'm going to move over to the first of the unconscious buddies and put him in the recovery position.
I don't think Varric is unconscious.
Is he not?
No.
Oh well.
He's just
Guess
gone
there's
to
no
bed.
helping it until I get my baton.
He's napping.
He's just gone to bed.
Okay, as long as he's on sleep, he's in a safe position.
He's
I'm going to.
technically
I'm
on
going,
-1, but yes.
yeah, I'm going to try and stabilize him.
Put out the remaining fires.
Put out the fire. I'm gonna put out the fire. I'm gonna put him in a recovery position. It's all gonna be good. Plus side, I'm really running this Wisdom 8, Charisma 6 build pretty well.
Oh dear.
Wisdom
Why did I
6.
agree to give you a flamethrower?
I don't know why, because it's really. I kind of blame it for this situation precipitating. I misread the game's tone terribly.
Yes.
The game's tone's all over the fucking place.
I know,
Yeah.
but I was assuming it was a paranoia scenario where everyone's
This
out to
isn't
get everyone, and not
this isn't a
Black Crusade.
xylophone on the floor.
Only in the sense that all people here are racist towards other people. Usually in
Anyway,
this.
we can get the tone back on track now that I'm in the know, and not setting people on fire. Yeah, I'm going to do my best to try and keep the room in a reasonable state.
If they go over to try and help, Kendrick, he will just outright refuse them. He'll say, "I'm a medic too. I'm gonna do my job." And he'll open the next locker here.
I just fall over onto him.
Thumper, you can get back 5 hit points. Stu, you get back 8 hit points. Friedrich gets back 7 hit points. And despite your protestations, Pittman gets back 10 hit points.
Ooh.
Okay. Kendrick will look straight towards David, and he'll say, "You and Holt are gonna have a chat in the med bay. Go." And even though Frederick has hit points, I'm going to be the one carrying him to the med bay.
Understandable. Have a nice med bay.
Mm-hmm.
One moment.
The med bay is all the way to the back.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
assume that.
Oh, that's
Ah.
out there.
Just gonna move all of you by intervals, as it's a really long ass fucking map.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ah,
Not stack them up on the same beds, please.
that was myself moving.
Nope.
So look over and say, what's the plan now, Sanders?
So, Skog, on my turn, I basically look at my commanding officers and go, not to be rude or anything, but looking at the time, it is, it's now time for the King Emperor Pharaoh Trump's second breakfast. So could I get back to or am I still needed, sir?
Captain just sort of looks at you with an expression of, just leave.
And I do. I go have breakfast because I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now.
I know what.
I will say it's a good thing that I didn't walk in on that guy, because we want to talk about something that looks like a Sith. That's a fucking Sith.
Mm-hmm. So, I know, as established in the first session, if I remember correctly, Kendrick is one of basically the psychological evaluators aboard. One of the psychologists.
To some degree, they are part of the medical team, yes.
Mm-hmm. He's going to request that he be allowed to do a psychological evaluation of the 3 that returned from the mission. As in an interview with all 3 of them.
That will happen in due course. The captain and his orderlies instruct everybody that is not currently on the watch to return their equipment to the armory and to go about any business. However, he would also request the engineering team to investigate for damage in the airlocks.
I'll be right on it, sir. Now, someone's been messing with my flamethrower. The nozzle was set to the wrong setting, and it had a misfired discharge in the middle of a firefight, which wasn't a firefight until it discharged. Now, I don't know what the maintenance boys out back are doing, but something ain't right.
I didn't commit any more crimes than that, no.
As I'm assuming you say this to the quartermaster, who has returned to his stores. Let's get him back in the right place.
First time? First time.
Well, it's
assistant. It's also there. He comments that this weapon is calibrated for low oxygen environments, and not for use in atmospherically sealed vessels. And that
Now, had you told me that before I took the dang thing out, I would have been more careful with it. I was under the...
He hadn't anticipated you actually using it indoors.
I had not anticipated it go off before the firefight had been engaged. There is a problem with the safety on this device.
Is that a deception roll?
You're trying to blame this shit on equipment malfunction.
No, he earnestly believes this. Because he was, as you remember, it was mental manipulation that caused him to fire it to begin with.
Oh, true.
But I will still roll. A persuasion check.
He sort of goes, yeah, okay, and takes the tanks off you and goes and puts it in like the cabinet where it's stored under lock and key.
I just throw my sniper rifle on the desk and mags and just sort of walk out.
Yeah.
The assistant tidies up the remaining equipment. The quartermaster just sort of looks somewhat aghast at the at all of the equipment that has been handed in so far, and that most of it's smoke stained.
Greg comes in pristine. Here you are. Here's the equipment. I noticed there was a smudge. I noticed there was a smudge on the rifle, so I wiped it off as a, just in case. Have a nice day.
He just sort of looks vaguely distrustfully in your direction.
Just like a synth.
Luckily, I have a piece of artwork prepared for this variant of my position's work. And just dig it out.
Black guy, who are these people?
Kendrick looks at you a bit annoyed. Well, first of all, it's fine. It's medical officer Pittman to you. Second of all, that is these. I do believe these are the ones who are assigned to be you and I squad mates most of the time. And I'm about to have a bit of chat with them once they've got a bit more juice in them.
All right.
I will say by this point that all of them are conscious, should they wish to be. However, if you wish to be unconscious for the duration of the Medicaid treatment, I completely understand. Just say nothing at all.
Thumper is conscious, but he doesn't really want to be conscious, as in, like, Actively, like.
You want to be asleep?
No, as in he is conscious, but he's basically just staring, like, very idly, up in like the roof and that sort.
Regain consciousness. Still a bit woozy due to CO2 poisoning.
God dang it! I didn't think I'd have to clean up. If people will turn their eyes to my current artwork, I managed to find a space janitor piece of art. Thought it would be appropriate.
Scruffy. You found Scruffy?
That's quite good. Yeah. Do you want to do a insight check for me?
Who?
Bill.
Oh, we might be able to find out why Leander was
Do an
actually
Arcana
there.
check. If you decide to change do that one instead.
Arcana and now insight.
False 20.
You reckon that the damage to the void suits is not sufficient enough that they should be irreparable, but the lockers are going to need some new doors.
Mm.
I'm going to prioritize the contents of those lockers is going to be out of them for a while, so I'm going to prioritize repairing the void suits. To be perfectly honest.
Understandable. You can take them along to the ship's armory, where they have workstations able to do this. This airlock is basically out of commission for the duration.
I'm going to put up a large sign that says "out of order." I assume I have a number of these, possibly in like a roll of tape. Well, back to the grind. I've had my fun for the year.
When Greg comes back into the actual, like, living, the living quarter area, he looks at everyone in there and goes, "Guys, they're having barbecue ribs in the kitchen. It's amazing."
Well, right, let's see here. While he himself is burned, Kendrick will look at all of the injured, and will say, "Major burns for our officer. It seems that experience in fire inside a tight controlled space is not very good for your skin."
You think?
Next, minor burns for you, David. It'll take a while. Sure, minor burns for you, David. Unlike the officer, you will not be needing any grabs to avoid the pain.
The pain isn't on the outside.
Yeah, tough guy. Just remember to have that attitude next time you aim to shoot someone.
Hey, in my defense, I wasn't the one who locked the airlock in the first place.
Still considered
You'll have plenty. You'll have plenty of time to make excuses for yourself during the psychological evaluation. Now, Holt. For you, it seems you'll have some pretty grievous burns, but they're not. But again, it doesn't seem like you'll need any grafts.
Holt's basically still pretty drowsy throughout this.
Catatonic.
I toss a fresh donut onto Boomer or Thumper. But, like, you earned this.
Fuck off. He still hasn't gotten over the fake out.
Grenade.
Grenade out.
So,
as Sombrero is leaving, I just slightly put a thumbs up, and then the arm just rests again.
And so Skog, what happens now? I mean, I can roleplay out the psychological evaluation. It could be quite fun.
That'll be soon. I'm gonna suggest if you want to make sure you've explored the remainder of the ship to see if there's anything else that has happened while you've been distracted by the combat, and then I'll move on to phase 2 when I've done some off VC communications.
Is that coffins?
There is something that isn't supposed to belong there.
I think that's ours.
Well, time to check and make sure this airlock's okay. I'm sure nothing horrible's about to happen to me.
What is going on in the district? Oh, by the Emperor.
It's a good thing I already have my side, huh?
So, I'm very interested to see what Bill finds.
Have you ever been in a situation that had the opposite of a hard read?
Welcome to hell. We have propane and propane accessories.
Oh, you'd have to laugh, otherwise you'd cry.
Yep.
I would like to formally apologise to those of you I set on fire.
I don't want to kill you as much as the Nazi.
Apology accepted.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Shut the fuck
That
up,
is
Greg.
Summer's outlook.
Bill,
I
can you roll an
was-
insight test on this airlock
Certainly.
before we get into the
Second.
more flavoursome inter-party arguments? These appear, from your kind of knowledgeable eye and, you know, the context of things you've heard earlier, these are cryopods. These are used for keeping scientific samples or human bodies in stasis. You can see through the sort of almost transparent-ish purple liquid that they appear to contain large inhuman creatures that are motionless, and the readouts on the side, which are all in your standard technical alignment and everything, read that all the statuses are clear and that these samples are in good condition.
Oh,
Sir, we have 3 cryopods in the airlock. I believe our large gentleman happened to leave them behind. This is to the bridge.
Yep. Captain Stavry, you hear him over the radio, says, security team, secure the airlock number 4, please. And no one else will be accessing those until we have secured the situation. Please monitor it. You are asked politely to leave the airlock.
With pleasure, sir. Well, I'll leave it to you, boys.
Point to this airlock is additionally.
Fuck. We have aliens on board.
Well,
We just had that
time
though.
to go calmly, shoot myself in the back of the head twice.
Need a German for that?
So, it's 9:30.
Yeah.
Less than 2 hours. Well, just over 2 hours. Pittman, you are summoned to the officers' quarters in the bridge.
Well, it seems we'll be having our little evaluation later, boys. Don't kill each other while I'm gone.
Just the Nazi.
I did mean him as well.
It was meant as a joke. I can't even move
I'm
my
not
arm.
I'm not in the mood for jokes at the moment. And he leaves. It's a massive map. I write at the doors to the officer.
The guards gesture you in. You're invited to go and speak with the 3 officers currently on the bridge. They look somewhat tired at this point, as 2 of them had been asleep before this altercation happened.
Pittman will enter the room and nod his head and say, morning, Captain.
The question is simple, Ranger Pittman. Is the ensign fit to stand trial?
Ooh.
The ensign? That's out of character.
It's Doom Dash.
Me.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Before I go through with his psychological evaluation, no, he wouldn't be in shape for it either way, and he is also not in any physical shape to actually move at the moment, as he requires skin grafts.
Understood. Keep him under sedation, please, in the medical bay, and have him restrained, please. I don't want him wandering off. If possible, move his 2 accompanying privates to a different facility once they are able to, and we shall question them.
Scott, a real quick question.
Yes.
How much alien interaction have, like, the Earth forces had at this point?
The people have survived and talked about. You 5 people.
Yes.
No!
The command structure is handling this remarkably well.
Yeah.
I think they're currently quite tired.
Oh, I don't care how tired you are. The realization that, oh shit, aliens are a thing, kind of wakes you up.
Yeah, it's a very sobering experience.
I mean, I think they had that yesterday.
Oh, let's not forget
The last
the
mission was a few days ago.
Oh yeah, I think they had that realization a few days ago.
Yeah, the crazy reports from people about shit happening is one thing. Seeing one and talking to one is kind of a different thing.
Well, we don't know if it was an alien. It could just been a big man.
You personally, at least, believe that Leander's an alien. Interesting. I'll add that to my notes.
Out of character, I believe he's an alien. In character, I would believe he's a synth.
You know, shooting aliens ain't too hard. I've been shooting aliens all my life.
In character, I believe he was a man in power armor.
The Thumper definitely believes he was an alien. In armor.
I think he was actually somebody from the past, from the medieval era, who ended up getting a spacesuit.
These are some interesting ideas. I like these.
I return to the med bay.
Piloting a Reinhardt-style power armor suit.
I return to the med bay, and the first thing I say as I enter the med bay is, "So are you still alive?"
Well, I am dead. I don't hope anyone else is. Not as I want him to.
Right. Well, I'm just here to relay some information from High Command to you. Can't say too much, naturally. I think. Once you're healed up, you will be moved. You will be moved to a. I will, unfortunately, have to move you to a different environment. Once you're capable, once you're fit to move, and you will not be. And I can unfortunately not allow you to enter or be in the vicinity of the med bay so long as the officer remains here.
I understand that. As you would like to defend him.
And he turns to the rest of them. Is Pittman the highest ranked medical officer here, or?
Not necessarily the highest rank. You are the highest experienced.
That is true. I am very old.
So the higher ranking petty officers do look to you for advice. And
to the rest of you, I would and the rest of you, we've been given orders to keep our Hunter gang sedated and restrained for the duration of his stay here. And he will go to Friedrich. Sorry about this. We sort of have to.
Procedure. I know.
Right, let's get to work. And I will start, restraining and sedating.
He doesn't do any resistance.
Thumper just says, should have stayed in Argentina.
I was cryogenically frozen, you cunt.
He doesn't know that. He doesn't really know where.
Nazi!
Antarctica.
Right, at this point, I'm going to suggest if everyone wants to take 5 to do...
10 minutes.
Yeah, 5-10 minutes. We shall reconvene. If people would like to end the stream there, that's fine with me. I can do the rest of it off screen, or I can continue the stream if people would like to watch. There are currently 6 people watching. I know at least one of them is me, and there's 7 people in the game. So our numbers could be good, they could be bad. But I'm happy to continue going. I have the resolutions planned. I have the artwork set up. I just need to.
Well, there goes midnight.
Oh, I'm going out of an airlock, aren't I?
No.
I'm fine with this.
Right, I am going to be back shortly myself, so I will let you guys have RP time should you wish. Otherwise, I'm going to be back shortly.
One question, actually. Do you have a link to your stream right now of this?
Yep, it should be in the chat, in the Discord.
There it is. Posted in chat.
I don't see it. Is it the Twitter one?
Void Ranger chat.
Oh. Alright, thanks.
No problem. You're here with me.
So,
yeah.
Well, I say this: Bill is a very effective PvPer.
Yeah.
Listen.
You can roleplay too. Like, you guys are like really well done.
Listen. I misread the situation. I said I was sorry. I even made get well soon baskets for all the people I set on fire. Now, can we please let bygones be bygones?
I'm
sorry.
that works. I love the guys that
you're-
develop characters, and I'm just like, I kill Mexicans. Like, that's my entire character. I mean,
My character's super developed.
I mean, Thumper started us out as the same. Well, in addition to being the Coast Guard. I'm praising Trump.
Just hang along for the ride.
My character, like, he comes from the Coast Guard. Part of it evolved into the Order of the Wall, where part of the Coast Guard has to defend the wall from Mexico, and then my character failed at defending the wall because a Mexican climbed up it and then fell off and died, but he got injured in the process. And then so he's basically trying to redeem himself.
Okay.
I'm just a nigga with a med pack.
Have you guys seen how they got Captain America out of the ice in Antarctica?
I gotta ask, is Sombrero and Thumper from, like, do they know each other? Because holy shit.
I don't know, do we?
That's some accuracy.
That's something you decide between yourselves, you fucking autists.
Yeah, it was meant as like, oh shit.
Wait, who's
That-
playing
'cause
Thumper here? I'm confused.
Me.
Pastafari.
Awesome.
Yes.
All right. Cool. We'll have to work on that. I don't know.
You're both from the Coast Guard, maybe from the two different
Yeah,
coasts.
two different parts.
coasts.
Yeah.
The
Be right
South
back, I'm going-
Coast.
I'm
Oh.
going to drink something.
The South Coast after America took over the entirety of South America except Mexico.
We built a wall all the way around Mexico. Just all the Mexicans are trapped
Mhm.
inside.
And now it's just Mad Max in Mexico.
But what of the northern border? What of the snow beaners?
Oh, there's.
Dude.
Let me. I'll put it to you this way, Bill. I speak American, North American, and South American. And I come only from America.
Wait. Doesn't Bill speak like East American?
No, I'm saying in-game. My character only knows 3 languages. And they're all
My
American.
character speaks ghetto.
Alright, I'm gonna pee.
Also, I did not expect to be the. Well, I think it's Doom's character who has the highest charisma. But so far, I think I'm the one who's been the most diplomatic.
I'm trying not to think about it too much, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh well.
I have the next set of events planned. I'm going to do a time faff once I've talked to the 2 people I need to talk to via messages as opposed to over the air.
Meanwhile, I'll do if Doom has time or wants to. I'll do his psychic evaluation for the viewers.
That can be done in the next phase.
Fair enough. It's up to you, man.
No, it's fine. I've got I've got a little set piece set up, as it were. I prefer not to do set pieces because they sound, you know, kind of gay for my playstyle. But apparently, I need to be slightly more heavy-handed in how I approach certain things.
So, should I get on with the evaluation or not?
Not just yet.
Okay. That case. So guys, we just met a crazy man in power armor. And he yeeted on us hard.
Thumper disagrees.
Sumper, the effects will take place after the next bit has happened, so I'll modify you at the time.
Yes, sir.
Is he
Stu is currently
still
typing to me, so.
Oh, okay.
What?
What?
Because I kind of want to apologize to him. Because I see that he doesn't take it really well, and sorry for that.
And I
Don't worry, things will be resolved in the uptime.
I mean, just gotta apologize for being like so into like the PvP aspect right there.
To be honest, I'm happy that it's out of the way now.
Yeah, definitely. Though
So,
Thumper is going to want to try to kill you, but he's not gonna be outright about it. In any sort of way.
If Frederick doesn't do that himself first.
Nice.
So, is Trump still alive in this universe? Is he like God Emperor like in 40k?
It's the Trump dynasty.
Oh.
I gather they were quite popular until the idea of democracy was basically thrown out, according to the previous canon that these guys have written.
Yeah.
No. It's democracy. It's just only the Trump dynasty is allowed to run. So you have to prove you have Trumpian DNA in you to be allowed to run for president before you can run for president.
So basically, it's China's government, but then in the US.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want Boomer Trump, or do you want Baron Trump, or do you want what's the other Trump?
Ivanka.
President Admiral General Aladdin. Sorry.
General Emperor Pharaoh, God Emperor Trump.
I
Also-
apologize. You are HIV Trump.
You can get a free gun.
Literally, what did he mean by this?
I love America. Buy one, get one.
But I
free.
can run for president. I have Trump DNA in me. Yeah, but it's like almost like non-existent. I still have it. Look, we'll let you run for mayor. How's that? Could I go for governor?
Elizabeth Warren to California.
And of course, to balance this, Trump became like he did like Genghis Khan and had
Also,
so many fucking children.
Yes.
How much Trump? What's your percentage of Trumpian? I'm 1/1000th and 24th Trumpian.
God damn, that's common. That's a lot.
That's enough to get you through college.
Check the chat. This is from a few years ago, but it still applies.
Happy Thanksgiving to all, even the haters and losers. Oof.
Yeet.
Yeah, that's a strong dab.
That is a dab 4 years ago.
The top ranked reply is from a year ago, almost to the day.
Oh Jesus!
Like from the 23rd of November of last year.
Holy
Sometimes
fuck.
Sometimes I still like to watch that one video, where it's all about how 4chan managed to get Trump into presidency.
Dude,
I think it's
that's
called
awesome.
the year 4chan won. I think that's what it's called.
I still like watching the Sargon video of the election night. I was like, just fucking, and the Young Turks. I view into that video every now and then too.
Oh yeah.
I clicked on that link where it shows stuff to Trump's Twitter. They're just putting razor wire along the border wall, dude. I freaking loved it.
Oh.
Just the whole.
It's just a picture of Bandit from Siege. It's like, yes, just hooking up car batteries to the wall.
Watching Trump. Watching like clips from that election night and just watching the right people's souls die.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
just
and
you
then
did the pain in their eyes.
Then the famous quotes from the media, such as, he's trying to tell people how to think, and that's our job. And the so famous, in order for Hillary to win, we need to win these states. I mean, she needs to win these states. Just like,
You're slipping up, boy. You're slipping up.
We're looking at the border wall.
Solo Assad.
Just look at this chill pose.
So, what?
Does that work?
I think I might get a promotion though.
I might get reprimanded.
Yeah.
I might get executed.
I don't think they
I
do.
might
I don't
get
know if they.
executed.
Well, no,
Also,
you can't.
okay.
You don't get.
Okay, so this is the only way I can get this image, but they're literally just putting razor wire, like rows and rows of it along the border wall. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
tell
there
me
were
they
reports
wouldn't.
that people are planning on storming the wall, at which point they go, cool, we're going to cut it in razor wire.
And also give, okay, if they charge into the wall, you're authorized to use lethal force if necessary.
I
They're
mean,
literally trying to invade the country at that point.
I can't
Like-
imagine that after passing the psychological evaluation, we won't get court-martialed.
Well,
Both me and
here's
Stu.
here's the thing. What you did was to be deliberately what do we call it?
antagonistic.
Well, kind of, yeah. Well, basically, not following orders and acting against the force. At the best, disciplinary action will be taken against you.
At the worst, you're doing treason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, on the officer's case, he tried to kill you.
Yeah.
You can try to justify it all you want. You left them in a situation where you had no idea whether or not they would be able to survive, and where there was a very high likely chance of them dying.
Correct.
So,
That's a court martial.
if this is a convenient time to pause for a bit,
I
say
thought
that,
we were already pausing.
oh yeah, but like, pause some further so I can do some plot integration.
Alright.
If you like, I can cut it here and maybe start up again if there's still time, or should we just keep the stream?
No, I mean, I've got everything sorted out now. I can move on to the next stage of the plot.
Alright.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So, it has been approximately 3 days since the events happened in the airlock fight. The ensign has been confined to the medical quarters and has been restrained. Take that as you will. The other two have recovered enough to be returned to light duties. However, they are somewhat unimpressive to look upon, what with all of their burnt skin.
Mm-hmm. It will recover in time.
Yep. Mr. Pittman has been more concentrating on their recovery. He himself has been fared fairly well, considering how quickly he recovered from the initial shock of being on fire. However, on the third day, you were here across the ship's intercom that everyone is to basically don their good uniforms, strain the place up, because in approximately 6 hours' time, the cruiser NHS Liberty will be pulling up nearby, and they will be deploying some specialists along with their medical team to engage in some actions. So, as you will basically continue to go about your normal duties, the Mr. Thumper and Mr. Holt are extracted to the NHS Liberty for the duration. However, in exchange, you have now upon the bridge Major Celeste, whose icon I'm hoping to actually grab and apply. So anyone who is interested, and Mr. Doomdasher, if you could all report to the bridge.
I am sedated.
You are not sedated for this purpose.
Okay. I'm guessing still restrained?
Yeah, you are not completely free in your movements. You are currently handcuffed, but your legs are free to walk.
I'll be following him as the one who has been caring for his health for the past few days, primarily.
That is fine. There is going to be a light guard in the room. If any of you wish to be taking up the role of guard, that is at
I will.
your
Midnight.
That is at your discretion. Basically, if none of you are too interested, I'll just move some other guards into the room.
Sorry, I'm cooking spaghetti. Go ahead and put me in. I want to see this shit.
All right. You can be standing at the side of the room.
You can join too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing Thumper is barred from joining.
Cool. So yeah, basically anyone who's interested, go and stand around the sides of the bridge.
Anyone?
Try and look inconspicuous.
Even Thumper.
Yep. Actually, no. Thumper and Mr. Holt are currently off ship.
Yeah.
Having their medical needs taken care of in the more advanced facilities on the Liberty.
Yes.
By the way, I would like it to be noted that I have spent the past 3 days subsisting on nothing but deep fried foods.
Deep fried what? Sorry.
I've told you.
Foods, any foods, just deep fried of any kind.
I've told you many times. Deep fried asparagus will not give you. Well, it's not nutritious enough.
Just pour gravy in the deep fryer, drink it out.
That is in.
Yes.
Greg is a bit of an asshole.
So, if we are ready to begin, if anyone else would like to be in the room,
I think we could use. Their second person with a potential court-martial.
Question:
he's in the room.
Question, dog. Is my dress uniform my military fatigues or my prison uniform?
It is your it's your good set of fatigues.
Got
Let's
it.
say you are all minimally equipped. You have pistols, knives. There is also, I've forgotten to bring in the assets because I'm being a little slow today. The Major has 2 of her guards with her. And if I
Okay.
can find the correct tab where I was storing the images, there it is.
Oh dear.
Nice art for the Major, by the way.
Yeah,
Big
it's
titty,
it
red-haired
was what I
Imperial
found.
officer.
It was what I could find in a hurry. As the next bit should make it slightly more interesting. So, if we are to begin, the doors are to be sealed, the comm links are to be turned off. However, the comm recordings will continue as usual.
Procedure.
That is not where you get to talk. That will come later. So, and the Major addresses her notes. Friedrich von Untergang. You are charged with endangerment of your crewmates, with dereliction of duty, and you are charged with ordering assault upon your crewmates, damage of property, destruction of property, assault on an allied military personnel, and there's something else on this list. Let me just check through all the notes. Cowardice. How do you plead?
Well, just for administration's sake, it's not assault, it's battery.
That is not an answer. How do you plead?
Well, guilty.
Do you have anything to say in your defense?
Well, first off, cowardice can kinda get that. But
Yes,
if you,
I believe my notes on the matter say you were found hiding in a locker when you were sought to be reprimanded for your crimes, including assault upon a naval officer. A naval officer by the name of Captain Leander of the Earth's exploratory fleet.
Huh. So that's funny because I don't remember him, and I don't remember attacking him.
He was kind enough to provide us with video evidence of the event.
Oh. Then, seeing that I'm already in a sinking ship,
A poor choice of words.
yes,
Go on.
May I ask one thing? Seeing that my crewmates, no, actually, I was not the only part of that team who attacked that officer. I am assured that they will also be reprimanded.
The recordings we have secured indicate that upon your orders, your subordinates opened fire upon a bulkhead door. It was deemed to be jammed. During this action, the captain was hit. However, that is not the action he wishes to bring up, as that was an understandable mistake. The power was down, he had no means of communicating, and he had not anticipated that the auto turrets would be functional in that situation.
Listen. Understandable.
Have any other statements or final words before your judgment?
Well,
Well, hold on. Sorry to interrupt. She said that's not the incident that they're referring to. Which incident are they referring to?
A valid point. I have it on good authority that after having breached this door and found the captain lying comatose upon the floor, that a shot was fired at him.
with non-piercing ammunition. Seeing that I never been given piercing ammunition.
So you do admit that you willfully shot the captain?
Yes. In my defense, I have been only briefed that this was the derelict ship. We found aliens. We made some assumptions, apparently not good ones. And I fully own up to them.
Right. That is your closing statement?
No, that was not my closing statement. You know, there is a small thing in the old German army. It might not be in the history books anymore. But did you remember how the Second World War ended?
And before he does something stupid, and the penalty wasn't gonna be anything.
Well, seeing the charges, I can assume actually that I will mostly be stripped of my rank and be thrown in jail for a long time. Am I wrong?
You are not wholly incorrect.
Well then, or I will be executed as a reprimanding. But see, there's this small thing. Does any of you know how the Second World War ended for Germany?
Didn't they get nuked?
That was Japan before it became Neo-Japan. Oh, there is some small thing that they give the officers in case they got captured. He bites down on his tooth.
Okay.
Releasing the cyanide pill in it.
Okay.
God damn it.
Well then. Gute Nacht.
No.
Wait.
As he begins to fizz.
Say the line. You have.
So yes, Kendrick has made a history test and has already rushed it. Would you like to make a medical check, please, Mr. Pittman?
Damn it! Just say it. I have drank poison.
I have drank the poison.
Medicine check.
It's not strictly medicine, but you do beat him unconscious as he starts to attempt this. At which point, you quickly administer some sedatives and
Wow.
Foil again.
Sorry, my boy.
That is a shame.
at which point would you like to say anything to the judge and the court martial?
Well,
Mr.
I've been
Pittman?
knocked
as his main caregiver and doctor in the situation. This is why I asked for a psychological evaluation before all this happened.
we had considered this option. However, we had not expected such a reaction, shall we say, from the defendant.
And the Kendrick will look the woman straight in the eyes and say very calmly, "Ma'am, the man believes he's a Nazi from the Second World War."
We were aware of this quirk, but we had hoped it would be a phase that would pass with
Wait,
time.
we get quirks now? I want to be.
You want a bit sip?
Oh,
Well,
Take him back to the medical bay. When he awakes, inform him that he has been stripped of his rank and that he shall henceforth be a ranger until such time as he has either redeemed himself or has died. I shall go and check
well.
on your shipmates and return them to you forthwith. Good day, gentlemen.
well,
And should you encounter Leander again, please try and make things more negotiable. He's provided us with very valuable information that will lead to greater feats of scientific discovery, and we thank you for your cooperation. Good day, gentlemen.
I
Thank
step
you, man.
forward towards the
may I-
commander. Commander, I salute.
Yes?
I'd like to contest his cowardice charge for the hiding in the locker.
You may say your piece, Private.
It was done so under my orders. Leander has no authority on this ship, and as of yet, we still do not know his identity. To say that he was hiding from reprimandation from somebody who was not over our authority is absurd to me, and I don't see why we'd follow the orders of someone who is not our commander. But you,
Our records indicate, although with not complete clarity, that Captain Lysander does indeed have authority on this vessel. Not that you are informed. However, he has been out of the loop for some time. He is not aware of the current protocol. However, you cannot take this blame. You do not have rank over the former officer. Therefore, you cannot order him to do anything. You might suggest it, but you cannot take that.
yes, sir.
well, in that case, ma'am,
Ma'am.
would you kindly relay, Commander Lysander, a message from me, or at least from this ship in general?
We can attempt this. It will be somewhat impossible, but we can try.
First of all, we'd like to apologize for a rather unhospitable welcome, and second of all, we'd like to request that he introduce himself as more than what at the time seemed to be, if I remember correctly, a god?
I do not expect us to meet Lysander again. However, it should be known that although he is not exactly of our organization, he is indeed an ally. At least, so his actions would betray him. I would not think too much on the matter, as it is still somewhat up in the air. Yes, if that is all, I will bid you good day, gentlemen.
Well, I hate to hold you up, but I do have one question. I'm assuming Leander will be disciplined appropriately for the assault he committed upon the guard once entering after leaving the first airlock. He slammed a guard so hard he slammed him into a wall.
No, I didn't. That was the guard running away.
No.
That was the guard running away.
Oh, that was the guard running away? I thought you said he pushed him.
No. He intimidated him so much that he just.
That was a push.
Okay, never mind. Then
Having reviewed video evidence of this, of the altercation, it does appear that it was merely the Captain Lysander's immense size that had the upper hand there, and it was not, in fact, any particularly violent action upon his part.
as
Very well.
in
Understood.
theory he is not permitted any form of violence against us.
Alright. So, I'll be taking the. I'm going to be taking. Kendrick is going to be taking the now unconscious Waruntagang back to the med bay, and going to perform some. I'm going to pull his tooth.
Understandable.
Just see which one.
You know there's ways to figure that out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one that's fizzing.
Why waste time on an X-ray?
It's all of them.
That case is going to be very painful.
Privates Thumper and Holt, as the shuttle returns to deliver you to the ship, you have spent the last day or so in the care of the orderlies of the NHS Liberty. You meet the major in the airlock, at which point she gives you a brief TLD of the situation, and then leaves, having completed her business here.
Thumper salutes her as she leaves.
Yeah,
She returns it. Right, you now have the affectations I've told you. The quick question is, Mr. Thumper, the left or the right? As you didn't actually say.
No, the right.
Okay.
Right arm.
The right.
Not the right. No. The right.
There you go, and
Nice.
Mr. Thumper has returned for well, I'm sure he can tell you. He is in mostly serviceable condition, or he'll be on light duties for the next few days. And Mr. Holt is somewhat heavily bandaged, but is also returning. They look somewhat more chipper than when they left, and they're less, pale and smouldering.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, if there is any final business you would like to attend to before you prepare for your next mission.
Well, I have concluded my psychological evaluation of the former officer. My conclusion is that he has delusions.
Oof.
That's the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, I have concluded that he, while having no other direct, shall we say, diagnosis aside from just delusions, specifically that of being a cryogenically frozen Nazi from the Second World War. I have concluded that he is simply mentally unstable. He is fit for duty, but he should not be sent on any solo missions, and should never be sent on a mission with less than 3 people, including him.
Understandable.
Aside from that, he should show. He should show up. He should show up for regular psychological evaluation every 3 months.
Understood.
Now for Thumper, and for Varric.
If they would like to reintroduce themselves to the crew, having spent a good 2 or 3 days aboard the NHS Liberty, receiving medical care, while the Major was discussing things with the officers.
Yeah, with his time spent with Leander, Thumper has basically abandoned the perception that the aliens are in fact space Mexicans, space commies, and he has abandoned the thought of the synths, and now has a robotic right arm.
He is a
Yes.
synth.
That's the essence of what's like changed.
I must kill the synths. No, John. You are the synth.
Has something happened to Holt on his
Damn
journey,
it.
Con?
Oh, and it's still burnt.
Yes, I'm not too sure on the details of this, Gogs. You might be better off describing.
Uh,
somewhat.
You've basically had a number of skin crafts and some gene therapy to try and help you recover the damage more quickly. They're not too certain what the side effects might turn out to be, but for now, you are yourself. You have recovered from the rather stressful episodes of being flushed out into space, set on fire, and various other things happening. But you're not 100%, shall we say? So if you want to leave it at that for now,
Yep.
that's fine with me. So, I will say, for time of our purposes, it has been a few more days, and
Skog, real quick, I'm switching
Yes.
devices again. Can you drag? I'm gonna need you to drag me back into chat.
that's not an issue. Yep, just the word yeet in response to one of the questions asked. That's always good.
Should
So-
maybe Pittman get the option? Because he was also
Uh,
burnt.
I was
Or,
going to give Pittman the option, but Pittman has been rather busy. There may be more options in the future.
Pittman
so-
has done some taken care of himself.
Yes, which is all well and admirable. However, there are more options potentially in the future. So,
Yep.
the captain has summoned all of the crew on one of the rare times when they are all awake to the galley, which is the common area. I'm not going to move everyone there because fuck me, that's a lot of NPCs to move. And this is a big, long map as well. So if you just want to move yourselves there,
Even
I'll, yes, you are given.
One of the rare occasions where I'm not chained to the fucking bed.
Yeah, you've been deemed fit for service again. Captain's going to stand at one end of the room. You can array yourselves as you wish.
Fit for serfdom, technically.
His lieutenant is with him. So, as they address the room, the information that Captain Lysander has given us, coupled with the analytics from the NHS Liberty, have provided us with much needed information, and going forwards we will do our best to implement this as and when situations and supplies allow. We have taken on supplies from the NHS Liberty and its deployment. We've also had a number of small crew changes. I'm sure you'll see some new faces, and some of the other guys have departed for leave or other deployments. Going forwards, we have a much better understanding of how to deal with the alien threat, should it continue to be a threat and not just a one-off encounter. This will be instructed to you upon your training drills during the weekly exercises. We've managed to accrue sufficient samples to have some live experimentation, as it were, with certain firing techniques. This will be available to you in the coming weeks. However, it has been cited on the Liberty's much more powerful long-range scanners that we are approaching a research vessel. So, yeah, we should be there in a few days, at which point a number of you will be deployed to go and investigate. Good day, gentlemen.
It's not one of ours, is it?
We are not too sure of its origin. However, it is of Earth origin. We are confident of that. Any final questions?
What would be search and destroy, rescue?
That will be debatable at the time. We don't know the situation. We are still a week away. We have its approximate coordinates. It does not appear to be moving.
We should probably try investigation this time.
Yep, we will give you more information as we approach, but for now, you may either decide amongst yourselves or prepare to be drawn by lot for the investigation. As we have no brand new faces with us, it will be up for anyone to deploy and investigate. Will that be all? Good day, gentlemen.
Who came in?
And by salute.
They return to the bridge.
Fried chicken.
So, Thumper, is it? I hear you were in the Coast Guard.
Yep.
Yeah, so was I. I think I saw you in basic.
Might have. Shit. Where were we stationed?
I was Fort Tijuana.
Ah, shit. That's a nice one. Nah, I was like up on the American side. Shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's all American. The entire North American continent are now America. I've been trying to hint at this the entire game.
We know.
Yeah, now it is.
As a brief aside, do you want to call it there, Stu, for the day?
We can do, unless anyone else
I'm
wants
not fussed
to.
if you guys want to keep RPing live, that's fine with me, but I have nothing else to add at the moment.
We should probably,
Alright.
yeah, maybe cut it short, unless, Gren, you want to do your psyche evals, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
After
Solutions.
it's going to walk up to the two of you, on the other side of the table. Say, Private Thumper,
Yep.
Private Holt.
Hey, lad.
You two meet me in the med bay. It's time for your psychic evaluation. Now that it's been about a week. You got to calm down.
Sorry, excuse me. Ooh.
God damn it, Greg.
Tried to stifle it, damn it. Tried to stifle it. It's not my fault. Budweiser is one of the only beers that survived the 5th war. Yep, I just did that. Fuck everybody.
That's why character closes his lips around his gun.
Only.
Thank God we still got the vodka.
Biological weapon on board.
No.
He knew how bad it was.
This isn't Budweiser. It's Budweiser Light.
Budweiser.
The med bay is all the way over here.
Yep. It's where the there.
I enjoy making up the canon of a game as it's being played. It's fun.
True. Celery is
Sometimes I
outlawed
like
under
to
the
play.
New Geneva Convention.
Right. Bumper, come right in.
Yep.
Has been renamed Gay Rhubarb.
Just slowly
So
eating.
then, nah, we'll be starting with the usual questions. You know, how are you? How you been since the incident? Feel any funny in the head?
I feel like I've just been through taking the biggest dump in my life.
Are you now, or have you ever been a synth?
You're not here, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah, see you right there.
But I feel like my head is clearer now.
Good. So,
Written in as a recommended question for your
aside from the
elves.
right. So, let's see here. First of all, now it's fairly common to bring this up during after incidents such as what we experienced inside that airlock. Have you been feeling any? Have you had any reactions to any sort of fire or fire imagery?
Well, it's definitely terrifying, but then again, fire is that.
So you personally wouldn't say that you have any adverse reaction to seeing the fire?
I'm maybe a bit more jumpy, that I would say.
Right. Well, and of course, after that, I go through the standard thing where I just show them a bunch of, imagery of fire.
I'm kidding.
Don't get around with the psychological evaluation, boy. But it's good to see you still have a sense of humor.
Insert the quotes. Insert the fucking clip of Knuckles' brother falling down the stairs.
Now then, this question might be a bit more personal. What are your current thoughts on former Officer 100K?
Well, for a while I wanted to kill him. That's why I went with Leanne. By now, he's had his punishment. And if that's what the higher-ups deem worthy, deem necessary, then who am I to argue?
Fair enough. I'm sure you've been through all of the other questions during the investigation anyway.
The investigation of the ship?
No, not Scarred. I'm fairly certain they had an investigation into his crimes.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, into his crimes, definitely.
And I'm fairly certain these two were interviewed for that, weren't they?
They were interviewed. Their information was found to be corroborating with the other information available. No charge has been pressed against them.
Oof.
Well,
in that case, looks good. That's about it. That's about it at the moment, Thumper. I'll probably have another psychic evaluation in about half a year, but there's nothing to worry about right now.
Yes, sir.
Would you kindly send in Mr. Holt?
Yes, sir. Sorry about the gun thing. I was bloodthirsty, by the way.
That is fine. Just remember, insubordination can get you killed.
Yeah.
Not by me, not by our officer. That was his first mistake, anyway. He can at the very least land you, but he can at the very least land you disciplinary action. And boy, you do not want to go through that. Trust me.
Yeah, I don't want that, sir. Okay, it's your turn. Come on, Rick.
Alright, thanks a lot.
Giddy up.
There, Hope. How you doing?
I'm doing alright, Doc. Could be better, but recovering nicely, it seems.
See, you got some pretty good doctors over there in the Liberty.
They certainly do, so.
So, as you probably know by now, we'll start out with the usual questions. How you been since the incident? How you feeling any funny in the head? Stuff like that.
Well, nothing medically related, I'd say. They seem to have patched me up well. My head seems, fine of any symptoms that may have occurred due to this. So, in that regard, I seem alright.
Right then. So, and I asked him basically the same set of questions, more or less, regarding the fire. Just, feeling any adverse reaction to imagery of fire or open fires and so on?
Yeah, I've seen a few fires before in my time lad back in the service. It's not pleasant being in a confined room with it, but I did see it at least once before, so I do know right, all things considered.
I heard as much. Is it true that that one side of your face practically burned off while you were still shooting out there?
May be possible. I presume it's bandaged up, by the way, at this point.
Yeah.
It's recovered at this point. You look humanish again.
Okay.
Less melted.
I was basically referring to how he was continuously making those constitution checks while fighting.
Yeah, just ignore it that you're on fire. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, as always, you're fairly impressive. I'm gonna show you some images of fire here.
That's a fire, alright.
Good.
Some more fire.
Now, you seem to be adjusting well to your injuries. I suppose the next question, which might be a little personal, depending on how you're currently feeling. What's your current thoughts on former officer Von Untergang?
Well, here's the thing. When we were in that airlock on the other ship, I considered his actions somewhat unlawful and unbecoming of an officer of the Space Force, so it may have been insubordination on my part, but felt like in my conscience I couldn't let one of my boys die, so I refused to follow his commands, and I think I would do so again, honestly.
That is fine. You don't need to justify your actions to me. I understand. But I still have to insist. What are your current thoughts about it?
Well, I owe that Landry lad a lot of loyalty after he pulled us out of the fire there, so to speak. Not a joke, by the way. That was just a figure of speech. Anyway.
I see.
And well, I didn't want to kill him exactly. I just wanted to see how we could resolve the thing. See where we could go from here. I didn't know how the rest of the Space Force would react, to be honest with you. I didn't even know this Landry guy was part of the Space Force, which, now that he's at least affiliated, it fills me with some more confidence. My loyalties were a little thin there at that point. I felt that if an officer can become that unlawful and unbecoming, well, who am I really serving here?
Well, Kendrick is going to put a light hand on Holt's shoulder and say, "Now, there's a few things I want to make clear with you, boy. We all none of us are perfect there. Not on this ship, not out of it. And not every officer will always be perfect to you and give out the perfect commands. He did what he thought was right, and well, we should probably have been a bit more careful about considering what someone who thought he was an actual Nazi was saying.
Nice.
But there are good people here, and though most of us are a bit weed here and there, we do have good officers on this ship. So, I'd say don't be afraid to put your trust in the men on this ship. None of them are perfect, but even the worst of us, and even those who make many mistakes, do so trying their best.
Alright, thanks, Doc. Makes me feel better. Appreciate it.
Right. And that's it. You're free to go.
Alright, Doc. I'll catch you later, eh?
Now, the psychic evaluation I turn in for each of them are... I turn in the evaluation that each of them are perfectly psychologically stable. Holt especially seems to have a very strong sense of loyalty, but he might also be prone to somberness.
Oof. Okay.
And that's about it.
Yeet. I believe we are finished for the day.
Indeed.
There's anything they'd like to add? I will add to the info sheet before the next session if I remember to. If not, I'll just tell you about it.
Okay. And on that great bombshell, good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we will see you next time.
Happy Thanksgiving!
Hey, yes.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And
Happy
happy
Turkey
whatever
Day.
you don't celebrate.
Happy Thanksgiving. Remember to subscribe, like the video, and fucking kill yourself.
And
Pilgrim did nothing wrong.
Ciao for now.